Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday night live with Maiden. Oh, there, Maiden and Tim, and we're joined by the one and only Mr. John Mangini tonight. Thank
Glad
you
to be
so
with
much.
you guys.
Oh
Hey,
man,
we are
this
too,
is
guys.
a blast already.
And Sensei Domino coming in early, coming in hot. It's good.
Yes.
Now, Tony's a
What's up,
great
Tony?
collector as well.
Yeah,
Nice collection.
he likes his pre-war card.
Pre-war tobacco, Japanese cards, any vintage really, TTMs.
Yeah,
TTMs are an interesting side note to the hobby that I'm just discovering. So that's
yeah,
been
we're
pretty
just now
fun.
getting into that. That's fun. Like I finally got my first one ready to send off.
I finally got my first one back, although it was only one card. It
Hey,
was
that's
an
cool.
experiment. Yeah, I was pretty stoked about that.
Who'd you get first?
Well, we'll
Or
reveal it
you
on the
gonna do a
show.
video on it? That's right. You don't want to spoil.
No, no, no. Well, I could do it now and clip it, or I could just show it later. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just show it later. But
Okay.
I'll show you fellers, and then I'll film a video because some people don't get a chance to watch the live. So um, of course, it just ripped over the stats. Stupid me. I sent this out on the 20th of January. Got it back the 6th of February.
That's
So
pretty
7
quick.
days. Oh yeah, and it's from a Mr. Darren Shannon. Now it's on the pro set. He signed it in blue.
Right on.
Thank you, Mr. Shannon.
That's
Long
pretty
live
cool.
Vince Mafia. Yeah, it's the card too, right? Some of those cards are really hard to sign.
Yeah.
I like the Opeachy. But yeah, thanks, Mr. Shannon. That's really cool. My first TTM return, and it was
Awesome.
sent no top loader, no sleeve or Rooney, no penny sleeve, no nothing, and the corners are still pretty crisp.
Hey,
For a
nice.
set
Sounds
card.
like some of the cards I've gotten back from eBay.
Yep, they're wrapped like a fish.
Yeah. I got some earlier this week. It was in a Ziploc baggie.
Uh, that's, I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
that's
sometimes you open it up and it'll be loose, and you're not expecting it to be loose. You're like, what the?
Yeah. Here we
absolutely.
got a few people in here. What's up, Blue Rock TV? How's it going? We got
My man Lou.
Big Scott is in the house. We got Robert
Big
Springs.
Scott.
What's up, Robert?
Robert, Tony,
Hey, budget
Brian.
rips.
What's up, Brian? How you doing, buddy?
And Tony, what's up, Tony?
Yeah, hey Tony, I was just showing my first autograph that I got in the mail. So I'm gonna do a little thing about it there. Probably short or
Now,
something.
after all this time, what made you decide to do that at this particular time?
Because I opened up a crap ton of cards and I need to do something with them.
Yeah, got a bunch, got a bunch
Just
of
found it
cards.
so amazing and gracious of the players to do that because they
It
get
It
all
is.
is.
that mail,
It
and
is.
they really don't have any obligation to do that. And
Exactly.
I know it has to take up a ton of their time.
Yeah,
Right.
and John, for me, I saw that opportunity to reach out to some of those players that I liked watching as a kid, as a young fella that either played minor league here or in the AHL that I got to meet when I was a younger fella, and had them sign stuff, and then lost it obviously as I got older. Like Dave Reed and Gary Roberts. I don't know if you're that big of a hockey guy, but I'm Canadian, so that's a pass. But some of those guys played here, and they were huge heroes of mine growing up. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
cool
was.
opportunity to do that. You know, that's the
Yeah,
real
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Me horsing
I was a big
around.
hockey fan in the '90s when the Penguins were good. You know, once we got Mario Lemieux, because I was a Penguin fan, and then in the early
Nice.
2000s NHL package, and I watched every game every night. Like I just was a fanatic about it. And then they had the Olympics, which was a fantastic Olympics for hockey. Then of course they changed the rules after that because everybody loved that fast play. So I know all the players from back then. I haven't been following it, so but we used to get the AHL cards back in the day, you know, and try to pick some of the upcoming possible stars,
Yeah, yeah. Like
Nice.
and those were
Brett
cool
Hull.
cards.
Brett Hull spent like half a season here, almost a year here. Got to meet him when I was young. He was a super cool guy, and that's Bill Ranford. There's so many that came through here. And
Yeah,
that awesome.
I got to play golf with Joey Mullen,
Oh, nice.
and
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know
That's
if you
pretty
know
cool.
this, but at the time of his retirement, he was the all-time leading American-born scorer in NHL.
Nice. I didn't know that.
That's not saying a whole lot because most of the great hockey players weren't American, but still.
There's a couple: Mike Modano, Jr., Roenick. Those boys, they can hold their
I
own
was
too.
a big Modano fan.
Yeah,
I was a
me
big
too,
Modano
buddy.
fan.
And Jr.
And Matt Sundin fan.
Yeah.
And Paul Correa.
And they signed.
And my man though was Joe Sakic. I loved him.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Rick,
nice.
how you doing?
What's up, Rick?
But
Titus?
one of my friends here, Zach's Collections, Zach sent out a TTM request to Dominic Hasek in the Czech Republic, and it came back. So it's amazing.
Oh, wow.
I think it's because, again, people that are our age that are reaching out to these guys, it's because we watched them growing up. We enjoy them. And there's a personal connection there, you know? That's what it's about.
Yeah, I have a Patrick Lalime up on my wall. But when he came up with the Penguins, he set the consecutive wins by a goalie for a rookie record.
My man's Ed
then,
Belfour.
Speaking of where he was playing. Yeah, I forget where he was playing, but he was man, it was so sad to watch because playoffs. And he had not given up a goal in so many games. And he had to go it was like a minute 40-some seconds left for him to get the record. And at the very end of the game, he gave up a goal.
Oh, man, right at the very end. Sorry, it's skipping a little bit. The audio is kind of jumping around.
Oh. Yeah, he was gonna. He had the most consecutive games without giving up a goal in the playoffs, and he was about to break the record. About to break it, and it was like a minute 42 left or something, and it was within the last little bit of time, he gave up a goal.
Oh man,
I was watching that game. I was really rooting for him, but that was a long time ago. My memory's a little hazy on it.
That's the story of my life right there, isn't
it? Mine too.
Lord,
Patrick Lalime, man, he had signs of brilliance when he was on. He was on.
Yeah, that's right. He was. He sure was. Hey, Rook, how you doing? Hey, Cam, thanks for coming. Bank, thank you. I'm just gonna run quickly, just greet a few people here. Hey, Titus, how you doing? Hi, Lou, thanks for coming. NCR, my buddy George from Ohio.
George.
National Parks Princess NBP. How are you, DL? She's awesome.
What's up,
She's
Princess?
at 896 now, man. She's doing pretty well lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She's super supporter of mine, and I'm glad to see all these people here. And Rook, what can you say? She's awesome. She's legendary. Check her out for sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, for real. Now, you guys have an agenda. I don't, so I will let you.
So, just really quick, my first TTM that I'm going to send off, I saw this guy signs is in the top 25. So I was trying to search for somebody that I knew I might have a good possibility of getting back. And I saw that he signed. So I figured, why not? I'm going to try to send this Bobby Shantz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a good signer. He's a good signer. And he was a good pitcher.
Yeah, man.
So I figured, why not? If you're going to try it, might as well go big, right?
Yeah, hey, and you know what? All you can do is chance yourself.
Hey, that's right.
I have probably his toughest card here. Where do I have that?
Why does that not surprise me? You have a great collection, John.
To show you guys, back in the day, everybody knew about this card. This was one of the most sought after cards, but over time, these things get lost and new cards become popular. If I can find it, and most of the hot dog issues, they're all really scarce. The rodeo meats.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God,
that is cool.
Okay, I just fell over. If I wasn't sitting in my comfy chair, I would have passed out. Did you?
Yeah, these are from 55. This is the Johnny Sane too. Johnny Sane.
Yeah, those
Spawn and Sane, Pray for Rain.
Man. Yeah.
I actually have two of the Bobby Shantz because it was such a big card for me growing up.
Nice. Those Wieners cards are some that I need to still look for. I got the. I've been looking for those the cons wieners.
Oh,
Isn't
the
it the
cons?
cons? Yeah.
I have a nice Clemente here.
Oh, see,
1860.
fantastic.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
have
That's great.
great backs with stats and player bio.
Those are so sweet.
Hey Tim,
And then you have the
John
Stallmeyer
on the big screen.
Franks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. You got me all flustered. I can't even think straight.
Yeah, this is their first day.
There you go.
The thing about the Stallmeyer is there was one year, I believe it was 53, I believe. One year they actually sold them at the stadium or gave them out with the hot dogs. So those ones are, you probably find them in better condition than the ones that were in with the hot dogs. Because, these are all low grade, beat the hell and back, really. But they still present great. That's the Roy
Yeah, they look
Campanella.
fantastic.
Oh yeah, I like those, and I like the Red Heart dog food cards as well. Some of those are some of my favorites.
Hearts.
Yeah.
Here's something
From vintage
interesting.
era.
These are bag. These
Oh,
are from
cool.
Red Heart.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
How cool are those?
Yeah,
Those
no,
are really sweet.
that's dope.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those. Those are fantastic cards.
Nice.
Yeah. The
I just
Stan
got,
Musial and the Mickey Mantle
I got
were the
a
ones
stack
on
of
that
them
side.
here.
I got
Everyone seems to
got
love
one
the
in.
Stan Usual too.
Yeah, see,
Oh,
that's
nice.
the card. That's
I like the
Oh,
red
and I got
back
an
on that.
autographed
on the
Minnie
map.
Minoso. That's a cool one.
Oh, sweet.
Autographed mini.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a nice set.
Cuban
Those are nice
Comet,
looking
man.
cards with vibrant color.
Yeah.
The red hearts are something I've been starting to pick up lately, and ended
You
up
used to
getting
be able
one.
to get them a heck of a lot cheaper.
I
Everybody's
bet.
on to them now.
Right? Yeah, I ended up picking up a Billy Pierce last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
And,
nice
the thing about
cards.
the Red Hearts from the other food issues of the time is that they were mail-in rebate. You could still find them in really nice condition. Well, like a lot of the hot dog cards, they're it's super hard to find them like that. And the dandies,
those are
like
nice ones
the
too.
dandies came in bags of potato chips, so they're almost all lower grade. I mean, you can find them in 5. So in the modern era, people are probably cleaning them, make them look nicer than they are.
Right?
Yeah.
I know when you guys were mentioning about your Cracker Jack cards and trying to get the stains off, how people soak it and all that kind of stuff. It's like with those wiener cards with having all the stains on it, you definitely know it's authentic at that point, right?
Just today, with one being cleaned, and it came out so white and a little faded that just looking at that card, I would guess it was cleaned. Like sometimes you could tell. Some of these cards they didn't have real white borders even to begin with. White, that's suspect to me.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that Babe Ruth one that you posted earlier. It was so clean you can't even see the picture anymore.
Oh yeah. That was a joke, but I found that on eBay. It was so faded. Yeah, you could barely see anything. I was like,
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
You know what? It could have been. It could have been. That's why. Because I mean, it didn't look like just sun fading. I mean, it was that thing was so badly faded. There was
Well,
almost
pretty
nothing
bad.
left. I would guess it was cleaned.
Well, what's
Yeah.
going to happen with the dandy and the wiener cards is that they'll become like the Beatles butcher cover. So many people have tried to restore that cover that the original paste overs will actually be the ones that hold value because they're getting scarcer and scarcer by the day because people keep trying to peel the cover off to get to the butcher. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to know that
hobby's own damn fault, really.
Yeah.
Because this super emphasis on 10s. So when you can sell a 10 for, $5,000-$10,000 more than another card, it's like you see a card that's worth $20
sure.
in near mint condition, raw. Say 10 will sell for 1,000. So you're creating that vibe where people need to try to improve those. They don't need to, but they want to. I've never really been that into condition myself. I don't need my cards to be absolutely perfect under a microscope. I find it all.
Yeah, especially at 30 times magnification. It's like, what good? Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I collect the card, not the grade. So
Definitely.
for me, like if I can get, like, I don't care if I have 5 or 50. If I can get a 70 Hank Aaron for anywhere between $5 and 10, I'm going to do it all day long, and I don't care what it looks like. I'm just going to get it.
Right.
I like that card. Do I have some higher grade ones? Yeah, but it's the love of that player, the love of the card, the love of the hobby. For me, anyway, right? I've always gone on that.
Right. Well, like back in the day with the Beckett's, there was only two. There's only two lines of price on it. It was like it had like the mint and the other price. You gotta see a Beckett. So
Well, before the boom, like back in even 2015, 2016, if you had a PSA 6, 7, or even a 5, that was garbage. You're like, yeah, it's trash. I don't want that. Even if it was vintage, because there's only so many small collectors. It didn't matter. Like I picked up a bunch of Duke Snyder cards in 2015 for like $2 a shot, and they were clean. 57 Duke, 58, 64, and I got them for $2 or $3 each because nobody was collecting baseball cards then. Jackie Robinson's rookie card, $50. Oh, I wish I would have grabbed that now though. But I was going for a case of beer and a night out with the boys, so I didn't want to get too hard into it. But it goes to show you, right? The Red Hearts are the same thing. Cereal cards, vintage cereal cards, the Wiener cards. What's the other Frank's? 54, I believe. Is it Wilson's? I can't remember. There's another.
You're talking about the 54 Wilson Franks.
Bingo. Thank you. Yes.
Those are great.
Those are beautiful cards.
Fantastic.
There's a beautiful Campanella in that set too.
There is, yes.
Oh, wow. I love the yellow in the back. That's great. Makes it pop.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah,
cards.
I need a few more, but I should have got the Gil Hodges before he went into the Hall of Fame. There are all these collectors, and they only collect Hall of Famers. So when these guys get in, all of a sudden their cards shoot up because now there's all these people that never had their cards that are scrambling to get them. That happened with Ted Simmons. You couldn't give that Ted Simmons into the Hall of Fame, and then it was selling, for hundreds.
Harold Baines. Need I say more?
Yeah,
I remember going back when he got in and digging through, pull out.
Yeah, he was in the commons.
You knew you had him, but
yeah, Derek Jeter was like that for the first 6 years of his career. Like he's a common, and then when he got really good, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Derek Jeter!" I like Derek Jeter, but I'm a Blue Jays fan. So when the Yankees come to town, man, it's visceral. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It is. But I got to see Jeter's last game, and ironically, John, it was Ricky Romero's last game in the MLB. So it was a win-win. It was great.
Nice. What's up, Alex? Here's that the Beckett. So back in the day, you can't really see it, but you only had the two lines of prices for your guys. Yeah. And that's all that really mattered back in the day. It wasn't like a 10 or a 6 or all that kind of stuff.
Give you like a near mint and a VG or something, and then you would basically decide on your own, how to adjust that for lower grades.
Right, just kind of guess.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, condition, in the 80s started to become important. Nobody really paid that much attention to condition. No. I mean, you didn't want the card beat up or something.
Like in here right now, it says the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle in good condition is $9,000.
There you go. Imagine. Imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine
we used to keep these cards loose in shoe boxes and stuff. Flip them, play games, and we didn't think anything of it really. Some kids would write their initials on the back of their cards, and the other kids didn't steal them.
Right.
And
in the 80s,
cards
like that.
Is when I remember it started to become common to use top loaders and stuff. And when they first used top loaders, they didn't even use a penny sleeve with them. Mm-hmm. You just put it in the top loader, and sometimes those corners would get dinged.
Yeah.
That's why, knowing how kids collected back then and knowing, not even talking about the 30s or the 40s, it just blows my mind when I see these so many cards in 9s and 10s. from those eras. In fact, when I see cards from the turn of the century in 9s, 8s, like I'm not buying it. Like I believe those are altered. I'm just not buying it because those cards didn't come out. Cigarette packs probably in a 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Now,
I mean, they were put in with caramels and Cracker Jack. Now, some of them were mail-ins. Some of them you could mail in for. Like in 1915, you could mail in for the Cracker Jack cards. But they're so thin and flimsy, and they came with an album pasted into. So you tell me, who had the foresight in 1915 to keep these things in perfect condition? See, my theory is they were in an album. Because all the old cards, even from the 1800s, the cards you find in the top condition were in albums all these years, stored in an album, and they're near pristine. But they have back glue on them. Now, the thing is the glue back in those days wasn't that good. It wasn't like the glue we have today. So you could get them off the pages, maybe steaming them or whatever. And normally there are remnants back there, right? And so they'll get like 1.5. So I suspect that those ones that are really sharp were in an album stored all those years. That's why they're so sharp on the front. And the back residue was probably removed. They were either soaked or something. And I know that in some instances that can come back, I've seen it.
Yeah, there's I heard you guys talking about how the Orlando has some that was coming back into and there were stains was reappearing and stuff like that. Now I end up
but I mean only time will tell that, and I'm sure many of them don't. But I just think that those have been tampered with. Just not buying. I just see, you see so many these days, and it's just suspect. Where did these all come from?
Yeah, right? That's where
it's the same with we were saying it was the vintage autograph thing. They're coming out of the woodwork. All these old vintage cards autographed.
Right.
The same deal. I'm not saying there's anything up. It's suspect, right?
Now I was watching that and it got me thinking because I have this one card that is pretty beat up, but I don't know if it was graded like this or if it happened like, for example, like you guys were saying, it was put some sort of solution on it and then something happened later on after it got slabbed. But it was this 51 Bowman Gil Hodges.
Speaking of Gil's going to make his appearance.
But it's got mold all over it. I don't know if it's focusing very well, but all those little black spots are just moldy.
And it wasn't like that when you got it?
It was like this when I bought it.
What's the grade?
So
1. But it's hard to say. Like,
oh, there it goes. Now it's focusing.
Yeah, like
it probably just got mold from where they stored it.
Yeah.
It was probably in a damp basement.
But this is one of my favorites, even though it's all moldy and everything. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Like 51 Gil Hodges, man.
It adds character. How many people have one that looks like that?
Right, it's 101, right?
Well, it's
I bet you can't remove mold either.
Yeah, I don't know
I'll
how
have to ask one of the experts.
Yeah, see what kind of bleach I'd have to soak it in.
It would end up looking like that Babe Ruth.
Right?
Yeah, that thing had to be bleached, that Babe Ruth.
That thing was something else.
Yeah, but, like we're getting into that era where, like you said, there's big money involved, right? So people are taking their chances. But it was like that in the record community too, man, with the Beatles butcher cover. The trunk cover was worth $500 and the butcher was worth like 50-60 grand. And then people started peeling.
Yeah, I mean, some of these cards are life-changing money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Life-changing money. I mean, you could pull a pack. Now, you guys, you follow my channel, so you know how many cards I have. Yeah. I mean, you could pull a card out of a pack today that's probably worth more than my entire collection out of a brand new pack.
It's so ridiculous how that works. Like it blows my mind how a new rookie card is worth like so much more than a Hall of Famer or somebody that has proven themselves and all that kind of stuff. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, you can have like a
Yeah, I
one of
mean,
one super fractor that's worth like 700 or 800K.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you turn on the TV or you flip the newspaper and oh no, So it's
yeah.
it's a gamble. It's like anything. It's anything like that for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That is not
Sure,
a
yeah,
new
that's right.
phenomenon where people pay up for the hot rookies, but it's just to a different level now with the amount of money
Oh,
they're
yeah.
paying for these rookies.
Oh yeah,
I
like
mean, you're
that
Right.
shelling
Drew
out
Jones.
40 or 50 grand and they could be absolutely nothing. So you either have to have just money to burn or you have a very big, that gambling personality.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right.
Well,
It's similar to putting $50,000, on a sports team or on black, the roulette table. That's essentially what it is.
I only
Right.
do that on GTA. I don't do that in real life. But yeah, George from North Coast Railroad mentioned since 40s to 50s comics look admit they had to be touched up. And that's another thing that's happening in the comic book community as well, is that they're steaming, they're cleaning, they're like they're cleaning it up, they're
Right.
bleaching, they're
Well, when they have the option, when you send
Press.
it in to get graded, that they can press and clean it for you before they grade it.
Right.
Then, like,
Hell,
which is
hell,
great.
Do you guys think cards are going to get that like
too.
that?
It's only a matter of time, I think. It's before they have that option. Like some, I know that some hobby shops are offering that before it goes graded, that they'll clean and touch up your card before you send it off.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like for the grading companies, if they can't catch it, then, if you can't beat them, join them, right?
Right.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I mean, they have to legitimize this because they can't catch it.
Yeah,
And
they have
so
to
they
do
have
something.
to. It is in their best interest
Yeah,
to legitimize restoration.
exactly. It's sort of
Definitely.
like when the recording artists don't embrace people recording live shows. Now they record their own live shows, they put it on their website, and they charge a fee to download them. There you go. Can't beat them, join them.
You're
You
right.
have to be able to pivot, right? Like, and that's really the key. But yeah, some people have some pretty strong opinions on the card cleaning bits and bobs. But you're right. Back in the 80s, we only cared about 4 sharp corners, and that was it. Are the corners all whacked?
Yeah.
No, perfect. She's met. Bye. I can send her on down the line.
Yeah, that's an interesting phenomenon you brought up because it was all about the corners, and now it's more about the centering and the image, and like for me, and I know for many, the corners are pretty secondary with vintage cards, where back in the old days it could be off center, but as long as it had short, sharp corners,
Yeah.
or it could have image flaws, but everybody wanted those sharp corners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a 1972 Willie Mays. It's off center, but it's clean. I call it my crooked Willie. But that's the example, right? Like now,
Can I ask you this?
saying,
Is it the inaction?
Yeah.
Is it the
Yes.
inaction?
Yes.
Yeah, that's near impossible to find center. That thing, 90% of them are like that. That is it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
one of the toughest cards to find centered. That and the 1976 George Brett, really tough one too.
Right? Right? Like
I
that's
have
like I would
because every time I find a centered one, I buy it.
let me guess, were you a Warhammer collector? Because that's on the same level of giving a kidney for that kind of thing, right? Like you're gonna pay up for that stuff now. Especially the George.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
and it's a beautiful
change,
card.
Things change. I remember when there wasn't a rookie card, when that wasn't even a thing.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Change.
And you would look at those, you go to a show and you look at those dealers that had rookie card on the top letter, you're like, oh my God.
Right.
Oh, when they first came out with the rookie card, we were so enamored. We were going back through our old cards, looking. Well, first we had to figure out which one was their rookie card, right? You didn't have a whole lot of
if the stats match,
like you do now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They have the rookie logo.
So we had to try to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And then you started looking at again sets like the Wiener sets, Red Heart, like Talk Stay Unusual. Certain players didn't have contracts at Tops. You only found them in the food product. So which one's the real rookie? You know, talk about Mantle, 52 tops or the Bowman. You know, like,
Yeah.
It was dicey. So I think PSA and authentication has helped with that at least. But again, we were talking about PSA the other day. Like, if people are grabbing every 9 they can, cracking it, resubmitting it for a 10, and not updating the registry, that registry really isn't all that accurate. It can't be. There's no way it can be accurate.
Oh yeah, everybody's not reporting every time they crack open a slab so they can get that thing taken off.
So
they used to crack and resubmit, but now they're cracking, cleaning, and resubmitting.
Yeah,
and fixing the corners, cleaning it.
Exactly.
So it's a whole new that's evolved too.
Exactly, and now you've overstated both registries, right? Because now you have a proper quote unquote 10. But you still have the 9 showing, which blows up the pop count. Again, there's people that collect just on the pop count. Do they happen to be born after 1985 or 1995? Maybe, but some people do. And that's their bag. But again, if you're going to go by that, that's not really accurate either. And Tony brings up a good point. I was going to mention that. The Don Mattingly rookie is what started the rookie card interest. It was that 84 Donruss Mattingly rookie that everybody was chasing back in the 80s.
That was the first, that was the first big one. However, I Valenzuela and Tim Raines in 1981. I think 1981 was when it really started, but definitely the Don Mattingly, without question, was the first big one everybody chased. There's no doubt about that. But I think it started to become a thing like around 81. That's remember where we were excited to get those cards.
I'm still excited to get a Tim Raines rookie.
It wasn't a thing from my recollection for the Ricky Henderson. So in 1980, that was not a deal. Because I remember when the rookie card became a deal and that Henderson became popular, I went back in my boxes that year and I had 9 Ricky Henderson rookie cards. And believe me, they wouldn't have all been in that box if the rookie card thing was a thing when I got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how. Of
course,
that
I grew
evolves,
up in a small town in Western PA. Maybe I just was late learning about it.
I'm here in Idaho, so it's always a couple years behind everybody else.
Again, Tony Sensei Domino coming in with the comment: 71 stolen bases in 88 games for Raines. People weren't talking about Ricky; they were talking about Tim Raines. See, that's the other bit.
I chased his rookies. Yep, him and Fernando, man, and Tony Pena, because I'm from Pittsburgh. And Mookie Wilson and Hubie Brooks had rookie cards that year too.
Speaking of the Expos,
Mookie Wilson was one we chased.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of the Expos, Hubie played on the Expos.
Yeah.
Most of your Mets from the 80s played on the Expos.
Yeah.
We had a fire sale like 3 times. Like, here, take everybody. We don't care.
And Ellis Valentine, man, he was a good player. He had a cannon for an arm. He just didn't have a very long career.
Yeah. We got a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, here, Alex has a question for you. He says, how do you feel about the people that clean the card for submission?
Yeah, I mean, it's here to stay. I don't necessarily like it. I don't know what anybody could do about it if the grading companies can't catch it. Like I said, some of the not to tell. And if it looks off to me, even if it's slabbed, I stay away from them. Because I just don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. Maybe nothing. If they're putting it in distilled water, maybe nothing. I don't know. All I know is I always learned that cardboard and water, and now I have to rethink that. Maybe I should pour some water on my electronics next, because I always thought those two didn't go together.
It'll boost you might be surprised.
Yeah, I have very mixed emotions on it. I don't have strong feelings one way or the other, despite how I may come across, because I a lot, and it's more to get everybody thinking, and it's more like asking questions about it than stating a definitive opinion on it. It all feels icky to me, is what I say, but I don't really have super feelings one way or the other. I guess but when I watch it, I have to say, when I watch some, I get like a little sick in my stomach. It's it's not fun to watch.
Weird. It does feel weird. But you know what? As a record collector, because I spent 30 years collecting vinyl. People were fixing warped records, disc records. You know, the ones that had storage warps, or they'd be dished in the middle, and they were like baking them and pressing them and doing all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, that's icky. But then I thought about it. If it's an original, say, Beatles record that, there's only 300 printed and you have one of them, take the risk. It's like, it depends unless you're there. Like I had a Swan Beatles record that's worth like $1,500. I got it at the Goodwill for like a quarter, but it was warped. So I sold it as such. It's warped. Did I try and fix it? No. I took the bath on it. I got $600, but I only paid a quarter for it, so I don't care. I would have felt icky if I would have had it fixed and tried to pass it off as original. That seems dishonest in a way. Now, if you said, hey, I've restored this, like a car. If I've restored the car and I told you it's a full restore, do you know what you're buying? I'm cool. You're cool. We're all cool. But if I tell you it's original numbers, paint, matching car, and then I find out it's the wrong color and the numbers don't match, well, you're a fraud and I'm a fraud. Because I'm stupid for buying it and you're a fraud. So it gets close to that level. It really does.
Yeah, one of the things I always say is ignorance is bliss. So somebody gets a card, they clean it, they submit it to PSA. PSA grades it, puts a nice high, and then it goes back to the guy who cleaned it. He sells it for a boatload, and the buyer is super happy with it. So it's like, where's the victim, right? The guy's happy who cleaned it because he made his bank. PSA's happy because they made their bank. It was willing to pay that, and they liked the card, and they're happy. So it's really, in many ways, a victimless crime, unless a year down the road, your PSA 9 gets all funky and looks like a PSA 2.
Right? Or the Gill.
That could.
Yeah, or it looks like, who knows? It might mold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It maybe nothing will happen. I wanted to get back to something when you were talking about pop reports. You know what? Something I find hilarious is when people will list. I don't know. They have like a 1903, and they'll say only 2. It's a pop 2, right? Because there's only 2 graded a 3. And I'm like, yeah, because no dumbasses turn in, pay to grade a 1978 and 3, right?
Right.
So of course it's low pop. That doesn't mean there's not a million of them out there.
Correct.
Send them in for grading, and there's a lot of cards like that where it'll be a 10, and it'll say low pop, and I'm thinking, yeah, because nobody sends that card in. You know?
But you know what we don't have in the world, John? Is we don't have PSA 10, 1990 tops, Brian Clutterbuck, scummy hat. We don't have a PSA 10. I am going to get one, even if I. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Look at that, eh?
There you go with his
scuzzy hat. And yes, it's in a snap down just because. We're going to get that bad boy into a 10 somehow. Yes, and it'll be a PSA 1 because no dumbass is going to get a blank Clutterbuck PSA 10 to 90 tops.
Yeah, the only people that get those graded are the set registry people. That's it. Because I mean, until a Don Assey and a PS 10 grand, nobody's grading a Don Assey unless you need it for your registry, right?
Or your dick and ass collection, like this guy. You should see my dick bowl collection. I got tons, all kinds, man. Yeah, Pete Lecoq, I got a bunch, dude. Like Harry Bird, 55 Harry Bird Bowman. Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have the Phil Hooker Tops card,
kinds of cards.
Oh yeah, why not? You might as well, right? If you're going to enjoy the hobby, enjoy the hobby. Right?
That's right.
Like here, this is one of my favorite cards. Look how off-centered that is. That Pat Riley rookie, but it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, awesome.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful card.
Some of them look really great. Like they're just so unique looking.
Yeah.
I have a 1941 play ball Joe DiMaggio that's like a diamond cut and it's like sideways. But the thing is, it's like mint otherwise. It's like mint otherwise. but I guarantee you, it's the only one. I guarantee it.
Nice.
I love it. Like that's the thing, and I love the diamond cuts. They're just fun. I got a whole section of 84 tops there, like a big stack full.
That's the way
Nice.
they came. Who's
Yeah.
PSA to say that they're not nice? That's the way they came out of the pack.
Yeah, they were.
Right.
And if you lived in Canada, you get the dull saw bladed O-Pee-Chee cards that essentially look
Oh,
like
I love
toothbrushes.
those. I love the rough cuts. 1973 O-Pee-Chee baseball.
Yeah.
They're notorious for those rough cuts, and
Yeah,
I seek
they
them
look like
out.
toothbrushes.
The rougher, the better.
Nice.
I love
Nice.
them. But you know, PSA will grade those a 10 because that's the way they came.
Yeah, exactly. It's factory like that, right? You know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know
but
what
yeah.
the hell they used. It's like they chewed it
The
off
butter
with their
knife.
teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to let everybody know it was a small army of Canadian beavers.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Just go to town.
They were on the government cheese. They got a degree in philosophy. They couldn't get a job, so we got them over at the O-Pee-Chee plant in Paris, Ontario.
There you go.
No. Yeah.
Hey, back to the names you were talking about. Do you know that Steelers quarterback from like 1969?
No, I'm a Bills fan, so that hurts my heart.
His name was Dick Shiner.
Oh yes, and Fair Hookers are the other guy. But I don't collect football cards, Sean. So it's I got to kind of reach out. I'm trying to get the baseball done. I've been chasing down Harry Bird cards actually.
Nice.
Yeah, there's another
You got to
one,
get a
another
Dick
guy
Shiner
that was,
card.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Definitely.
Now that I know, I'm gonna write this down.
He wasn't a very good quarterback, so they're cheap.
Sounds good to me, bud.
There's a hockey card, Ron Tugnut.
Yeah, I got a bunch of tugs. Hey, you know what? Actually, Tuggy does TTMs, man, and his kids.
See?
Yeah, he's dude.
You get an autographed Tugnut.
Yeah, he's awesome, bro. Like no jokes. He's a big thing up here, man. I'm telling you. Dick Shiner,
Nice.
I got it, man.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dick Pole. I got his rookie. I have all of Dick Pole's cards. Here's the funny thing about him. He was a great coach. He was actually Greg Maddox's pitching coach. He was a pitching coach for the Expos. And had he not got a comebacker in the eye, he probably would have won the Cy Young at least twice. He was a great pitcher before he got hurt. So we can all make fun of the name and stuff like that, but the man could throw a slider like nobody's business.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No jokes. I'm serious. Like Greg Maddox. Like, come on, bro.
Here we go. Yeah. Josh mentioned Rusty Kuntz.
Yeah,
he was
Rusties.
He was a manager for the Mariners for a little while.
He was. He sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know Rusty Cuts.
84 tops. I believe he was on the Dodgers at the time. I'd have to check. You know what card set I do love?
I have all those sets, but I don't remember him.
This is one of my faves.
Not one that stands out.
These are some of my faves. I couldn't find my Oscar Gamble in time because my son and I got into a bit of a kerfuffle this morning about some bad choices of life that he's made. So I didn't get a chance to root through. So I only have this one handy, but it is the Hostess. I love these Hostess cards.
Oh, nice.
The panels.
Man,
those are cool.
I absolutely love those things.
There you go.
I love the Oscar Gamble from that one. It rivals the 76 tops traded. It's actually a pretty good one. But Hal McRae was no slouch. Hal McRae was pretty
Yeah,
good.
the Oscar Gamble and Hostess, isn't it the same image? Because they used a lot of the same images from a lot of the same cards. Like for instance, the Willie Stargell and Dave Parker in 76 Hostess image from 75 tops. And I think there's I'm just thinking about my Pirates. I think there's a John Candelaria that's the exact same image as his rookie card in 76. And I think there's an Oscar Gamble that either the same or similar image to that. But that is just classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
well, he's got one in 75 as well when he was playing with Cleveland. And I think those three images are pretty close. I'd have to check them side by side. I will now. Back to my list. Sorry. And yeah, we'll talk about that. Oscar Gamble.
Nice.
Yeah, it's in my long box somewhere.
Hey, I had a couple questions, but I'll ask you in like 2 minutes. I gotta be right back. I'll be super quick. I'll let you
Okay.
two talk really fast, and I will
Sure.
be right back.
So
Here you guys go.
yeah, yeah, okay, no problem. John,
Sorry.
what's your favorite food and beverage set and card that you have of that set?
Oh man, I love them all so
man.
much.
Well, now I don't want to go.
I don't know if I could pick just one. I love the Kellogg's cards. I love the Hostess cards. Love all the 50s. Some of these are super, super rare, but they're not necessarily the nicest.
Yeah,
the
they're tough.
set, the Dan D set's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But you have like the cards are the most rare. Like I have this Briggs, this 1954 Briggs Willie Mays.
Oh,
Some of these
nice.
are crudely cut, or they're, not necessarily.
Well, the hand cut
best
ones
images.
are fun.
I love the Hires root beer cards from 58.
Yes, I have yet to find any 58 hires around here at all.
I like the Tetley tees. One.
Yeah, I have a couple of Tetleys myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love this one because it has the kid and Wade Boggs, and I got this out of the tee myself. I think that's my recollection, and I just put it in here. That I've had that since it came out. This is one of my most special pieces. And they don't have the emblems on the hats, and I know a lot of collectors don't want anything to do with those cards, but it's never bothered me.
No, me neither. I personally myself enjoy the panels, the Hostess panels from 87, 88 from Canada. They had some pretty cool stuff. Expos, Blue Jays.
Oh yeah,
those are fun. But I love the MSA discs, and I think you've heard Timmy and I talked about this a few times. I'm a disc guy, man. Like I'm a fan of all discs. If it's circular
I have so many
and there's cards, I'm in.
I just got some more in today too. Those discs.
I used to get those at Isley's. My grandmother lived in this small town outside of Pittsburgh, and real small town. Movie I Am 4 was filmed, and man, those people were so excited because they don't film movies there. But there was this Isley's in town, and my grandmother lived in an old, this high rise. We called it the high rise. It was for elderly people that didn't have any money, and it was state funded and everything. And grew up with and knew lived there together, and they used to play cards and stuff. And I used to go stay with her, and she would walk me uptown to the Isley's. I'd get like a milkshake or something, and I would buy those things. I would get those. So I remember getting them as a little kid. And so they've always been very dear to my heart. I remember getting cups too with like Terry Bradshaw and stuff. But, I don't know if I just have a bad memory because I can't find them. I've searched for them and I don't have any in my collection. So I don't know whatever happened with those, but I have a vivid recollection of getting those. But anyway, yeah, I have these. Nice. I came to learn. I never knew about. Like these are Crane potato chips.
Yeah. I love Crane,
I never
buddy.
knew that. Yeah, these were made for all different kind of companies and products, and I think they changed depending on what area of the country you lived in, right?
Yes,
like
they did.
In my neck of the woods, it was
nice.
Or Isley's.
Yeah, Isley's ice cream. Yeah, and then the Carvel. Okay, John, I'm going to look. Yeah. I think Carvel had a football set with Terry Bradshaw in it. It was a black and white pencil portrait, similar to what they did with the basketball players. I'm wondering if that's could be it.
Oh, I have these like the football ones.
Yeah, the 76 Peyton.
They have the Walter Payton rookie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 76 Crane. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, those are nice cards, man. I'm a big fan of Crane. Big fan.
Yes, me too.
Well, all chip cards.
I like the.
I'm a chip card guy.
The Pepsi ones, but I like the Holiday Inn ones. Those are, I think, a little tougher to find.
Yeah, I don't
They
see the
are.
Holiday Inn ones as much as I do.
And the green border really like pops. It really, I like them. They really look nice.
Yeah, I like
really
them
do.
too. And then, do you
I like
guys
those
know about
Pepsis.
the? Oh man, I don't have one handy. But do you remember the Burger Chef? They were smaller discs.
Yeah, it came in a box, and there was like a whole like 5 of them on the front of the box.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
like a placemat, right?
yeah,
I've
those are
I
seen
think
them
your food
before.
could
Yeah,
go
the
inside.
panels.
yeah,
Yeah.
those things are
And
really
then
cool.
I have the Pittsburgh Pirates like in full form.
Nice.
So I have
Nice.
one of those, but I have a number of those. Those are pretty cool.
So I had
I have
a
a Chris Chambliss. They're kind of cool autograph.
Oh, nice.
oh, that'd be sweet. So I had a quick question. It's kind of well, anyways, do you know what year and what card was the first card to be included into a cereal box for a prize? It's a
What
non-sport.
prize did you say?
Yeah, cards for a prize that was actually included into the box and not like a
In a
mail off.
cereal box, and it was a non-sport card.
Yeah, it's they had 2 baseball cards in the set.
the box.
In the box.
Hold on, what'd you say?
They had in the set they had 2 baseball cards in it. It was baseball related cards, but it was still like a non-sport type set.
You got me on that one, Tim. I don't know.
All right.
Now
I'm
what?
gonna turn my camera around so I can
All right,
show them off a
the
little bit.
first Kellogg's card I have over here was a Christy Mathewson in 1930, and that was the only baseball player. The rest of them were non-sports. However, that was cut out, so that wasn't inserted in. I know they did like stamps and Wheaties in the
Oh, you're getting closer.
mid 50s.
Yeah.
In the 50s, Wheaties had I don't know. I don't know that if there's you said generic baseball players, I'm assuming.
It wasn't actually a player. Name. It wasn't actually a player itself. It was like a cartoon. So, anyways, it's the 1933. It's the 1933 Wheaties, and it had Skippy. And it was a Skippy cartoon character. So I try to get this glare off of here.
Can you go big screen?
Yeah, here. Sorry. There we go. So there's 1933 Skippies, and they're included in your Wheaties box.
That's cool.
Oh damn! Now I have to take notes. 1933 Wheaties baseball.
Yeah. So in this set, there's only 12 cards in the set, and 2 of them depict him playing baseball. Skippy, which is
Skippy. Okay.
And Skippy was a cartoon character that they used at the time, and this is before Skippy Peanut Butter.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there's a big, huge lawsuit between the Skippy that drew this guy and Skippy Peanut Butter. But so you got Skippy at the gym. This is card number 2. And I'm gonna have to thank my lovely wife for these because she got these for an early Valentine's gift, and I can't take the credit for knowing the.
She got you those?
Yeah, she did.
You got to go marry her again, my brother.
Oh, right?
Yeah, for real, though.
Now, you have to tell your... said Valentine's Day is my birthday, so she might have to go shopping again.
And on the back of them, it says, this one's develop your punch. A Skippy at the gym, developing your punch. And on the back, it always tells them a couple good things to do. You see, it says, boys and girls, be like Skippy. Do the same 3 things he does every day. When you get up in the morning, wash clean all over and brush your hair.
That's
Give
right.
your teeth a good brushing and eat a big bowl full of Wheaties with milk or cream and sugar.
That's right. Make sure there's lots of sugar.
Way different than
plenty
adults,
of hair and exercise. And that's the way to have big muscles, strong bones, so you can win games.
That's right. And make sure you drink beer after 9 a.m.
That's right.
But only on Saturday.
Eleganter than elegance.
But only on Saturday.
Those are cool.
So here's card number 4 in the series.
Oh my gosh.
We got Skippy Socks the Bag.
Do you have the whole set?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Dude, these are pretty sweet, man.
And on the back, it pretty much
You
says the
always
same
show
thing.
fun. That's live. I watched. You had a bunch of great cards. It brought me.
Oh, thank you so much.
Brought me back.
He does. He's got a great eye.
And then this one's a little bit rough, but this is card number 5. You got Skippy in training hitting the row machine.
That's a short print one, actually. I remember. No, but if I remember,
it's funny some of those exercises you use today.
All right.
Right. I think what was it? Number 5 and number 9. I think were short prints.
Yeah, I know 5 was. But other than that, that's all I got on those 2. Just these 3.
Yeah.
So this was a fantastic gift. I was very surprised to get these. I never heard of them until she told me about them. She said
for the win.
She drives back and forth. She has a 45-minute commute to work, so she listens to a lot of talk radio. And that question I asked was one of the questions on the talk radio show.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Another trivia, we got the first year of Mother's Cookies cards. I know I showed this on here before because it's very cool. Yes, and I love it.
You have?
We got 1952 Mother's Cookies.
Yeah, that is from
got Fred Sanford of the Pacific Coast League. Played for the Portland Beavers.
That's right. Yeah, because you showed this on our Sunday show once.
Yeah, I had to. It was fantastic.
Oh, you can show anything anytime, bud. Like, seriously. Just don't drop your shorts in public. You get arrested.
Oh, no, I only do that in the mornings.
That's right. After 9 o'clock, beer time.
Yeah, at 6 o'clock in the morning. I drop shorts every morning.
That's right. And then about 9, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, you do drop shorts at 6 a.m.
I'll show you. While you're on that subject, let me show something that's interesting.
Okay.
That's true. There is a
because I have this Mother's Cookie of Piper, and he is significant in baseball history because he talked Willie Mays into playing on his team when Willie Mays was a teenager, and ended up mentoring him and brought him up, and Willie Mays attributes his mentorship was so successful. Piper Davis. Awesome. The Mother's Cookies are cool. There's not a whole lot of, there's no big names. Of course, they have the Rifleman. And he, I think he had like 1 or a couple at bats in the majors. So he had a cup of coffee there. But because he was a fortune. And this is Gene Baker, and he played for my Pittsburgh Pirates. So I wanted to get, I like to get him, somebody that played in the majors. And then, of course, Piper Davis just for the story.
Yeah, that orange one has so great colors on it. That's fantastic.
It's pretty cool. Gene Baker cards look nice. If you ever run into them, he has pretty good looking cards. He's like Jim Gilliam. I've never seen a Jim Gilliam card I don't like. They're all cool looking to me.
Yes. Oh, well, I got the camera over here. I ended up pulling my Roberto Clemente cards because I know you like Roberto Clemente. So I only have a couple, and so those will be really quick. So we'll get the
a couple is better than none.
That's right. I'll put it up there. There we go. We got the Deco.
Yeah, the 69 Deco Edge, peachy version of that.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Nice. Yeah, because it's off-centered.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah, that's how you know it is. Oh, actually, no, that one's an American one.
Yeah, these things are fantastic. There's I got this one.
That's a great image of him, though. I always loved that card.
Yeah,
he was a cool guy,
the 68
man.
Game card too.
Oh, nice.
And of course, Serrano had that hanging in his locker in the movie Major League. That 68 Game card of Clemente.
Yes,
oh, nice.
That is true.
And I ended up getting this one. I'm not sure what year this is. It's some promo card. I just thought it was really cool.
What is this?
It says Legends of the Game. Roberto Clemente.
Okay.
And
Clemente
not
has no bad looking cards.
No,
Right.
he's another one. I think Nolan Ryan's in that league too for me. I don't think I've seen a bad Nolan Ryan card. I know people crap on a
Yeah.
few of them that they don't like, but I like the 76 tops, Nolan Ryan. He's
Yeah.
just sitting there and he's like all gamed out and stuff, and he's like, I like that one.
Yeah, he has some nice
Um,
ones. I particularly love his
22.
74.
Yes, I do too.
Nice.
But his 68, 69, 68, 69 are pretty cool. The
I just got this
71s
one
are
in today,
cool, but
so I was.
from a distance.
Okay.
Nice. Now, which one is that?
This one's Orbakers.
Yeah, I just learned about ore bakers recently, believe it or not.
Oh
I
wow.
just got my first ones.
Oh nice.
After all these years, I never crossed. Somebody sent me ore bakers, and I was like, never saw this one before.
Nice.
Yeah, see the oddball collectors on YouTube, man. Like we need to get together and have like an oddball conference from time to time because there's a lot of knowledge that's compartmentalized that could be shared.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
wanna
the
try to
regular
get
old
one.
Topps cards are great, but they're if you want to get out into the world a little bit, there are
Yeah.
so many great cards out there because cards
Oh
were
yeah.
distributed in all kinds of different companies and all kind of different ways, all kinds of shapes and sizes. That's why I always say I hate the word oddball because there's no uniformity to cards unless you just collect tops. Yeah, Tops
Yeah.
Oh
had
yeah.
uniformity, right? But the rest of them
Oh,
didn't. I mean, you look at the
one
33
sec.
Gaudi, the T205. Those aren't the same size. The 41, 40 play ball, they're not the same size. 39 play ball.
Yeah.
Everybody had their thing.
Gonna turn this around again.
It's like the
Move
tall boy
fast.
basketball cards. I mean, those are some of the greatest cards ever. And the 76 basketball cards. Love
Oh,
those
speaking
things.
of basketball, sorry for the camera movement. So I was watching your show a while ago, and you showed the set, and it just got me absolutely hooked on the set, and I had to get it. I still don't have the full set, but it is the 72, the Icy Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
you were showing
anytime.
those.
Yeah, anytime I get a chance to show these, I love to, because you got me into these. And once I saw these, and I had to search and try to find as many as I could.
And ironically, John, Icy Bears are what Tim and I bonded with. I was like, ooh, Icy Bear? You're okay with me?
And you were showing the Carvel ones earlier.
Carvels
Are those
are
from Canada?
no, they're
Are
from
those from Canada?
These
No,
ones I don't know.
no, Carvels from the
I think
Midwest. They're not Canadian at all.
No. Icy Bear.
Oh, the Icy Bears.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm not sure. Give me a second.
I
I'll check.
think they might be from New York. That's why, if you're familiar with them, New York Canada border there. Sometimes I don't know.
It's pretty close.
I don't know. But this is why I'm glad I'm on, because I was on that live. You started to show those, and as soon as I caught a glimpse of it, I was trying to comment, Icy Bear. The chat it would be so much better if the chat could be a little more interactive. If YouTube could figure that. It's hard to type, and then there's a delay.
Oh, it is. It's frustrating sometimes. In there, yeah, I just love these. They're fantastic. That and you guys were showing some miscut ones. So I have this Wes Unseld miscut, like on the top.
Yeah,
actually.
that one. It's funny. That reminds me of the dude on Enter the Dragon. Like if he had a
Bruce
an
Leroy
mugshot, like a
yeah,
like
he was
the
Bruce
actors have
Leroy.
their headshots. I don't know why he reminds me of him.
Yeah, Wes Unseld always had the afro rocking. Didn't matter what it was, 90 hoops or 1969 tops.
Even in his coach cards, he had the little afro going.
Yeah, he was great, man. Wes Unseld was awesome.
Yeah.
I just got a card of his. I don't know where it is. Hey, do you guys know in 1976, something like 7 to 9 cards in the 76 basketball set? Do you know that?
Really? Wow, I did not know that.
What's that?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
it
the
cut out a little bit.
speculation is that the photographer lived in DC because most of the cards he's in, you could see, not most of them, but a lot of them. And you could see the player whose card it is or in the background on a lot of different cards.
Huh, interesting. Didn't
Nice.
notice that.
Yeah, I did a video like showing all of them.
I'll
I
check
can't
it
remember
out.
how many there are, but there's quite a few.
I'll check
Nice.
it out. Yeah, that's cool.
You
So if
brought
you're
up
a Wes Unseld fan, that's a set to collect.
nice. So
Oh
you
yeah,
brought
well,
up photographer that and players and whatever. So I always think when I see this card, I always think how much the photographer hated this person.
God. No, it's how much you
Yeah.
hate me. Keep showing that.
Like
card.
this guy, like whoever picked this picture for this to be his rookie card picture, just had to have something out for this guy. Like he must have hated Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan must have said something wrong to him, or something to be able to give him this first picture.
Okay.
Like this.
Next,
Yeah, I want to show you something.
next
I
time you
have
find that
these-
card, you know me. Remember?
Oh, I got you, Maiden.
I need that for my 70-71 set, John. I've been working on. I'm like 20 cards away from finishing it.
Awesome.
Yeah, like
Nice.
no jokes. I'm serious about that set. It's going to be in a 5 or 6 better. Not even playing.
So let me show
Yeah,
you
see,
this
there you
Jerry
go.
Sloan. Same picture. They
Yeah,
just
it
cropped
is. Yeah, and that's from the
top
poster
posters.
set. Yeah,
Oh,
that came in
nice.
the 70 Tall Boys. Yeah. And if
Oh,
you
that's awesome.
Yeah, I have a whole
you
bunch
got
of
them
them.
all? Do you have them all? Because they're hard to get.
I might. So I have all of these in addition to the Sloan, and then if you look up here, I have the Wilt Chamberlain hanging above my hoop.
Let's go.
Oh, nice. That's
Let's
awesome.
go.
I've been meaning to ask about that hoop.
I bought that hoop at Hobby Lobby. It was like, I don't know, 20-some bucks, and I couldn't pass it up. I use it as a display. I'm like, I'll display some basketball cards up there.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I was wondering if the net had any significance or something like that, like if it was from a college game or something.
No, it has zero significance. It was just in fact it's the only piece in my room that is not edible. Everything around is. So that's the only thing I have really. And I just placed it in the wrong place because I wanted to use it to like throw my papers. Play Nerf basketball because
in
I was an only
69
child and I
tops.
used to play Nerf basketball. Yeah.
Nice. I remember that slamming on the back of my door and all that.
Yeah. Oh, I
No,
had so much fun doing that.
Oh man, it was.
But 69 tops basketball tall boys had the rulers in them.
Oh yeah, they did, huh?
Posters in them.
Yeah, like the big giraffe type.
Oh yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
They're so
And
hard
John,
to
I
store.
think I saw a video of you had a wrapper of 70-71. Don't you? Basketball?
76 I do. I have there were 4 wrappers in 76. I have all 4. But the interesting thing is that they have an ad for an NHL wastebasket. And it's kind of interesting if you're buying basketball cards that you'd want an NHL.
Yeah. Yeah, hockey's the furthest thing from your mind. Yeah, for
Right.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because hockey just wasn't popular in the United States like it was in Canada.
No.
So
And-
it's just an interesting choice of an ad to put on there, like maybe baseball or football before that.
Can
Because
you
back then
imagine?
in 1976, Americans didn't watch. Heck, they didn't watch basketball that much, let alone hockey.
Dude, nobody in America watched hockey really until Wayne Gretzky hit LA. And then hockey was big time. NHL was big time. Like if Gretzky would have went to the Red Wings, like his original idea was, NHL wouldn't have gone down to the States and expanded the way they did. But when they figured out that they could sell out in LA, down south on the West Coast playing hockey, they're like, cha-ching, cha-ching, let's do it. And it blew up, and it's blown up big time, which is cool. It's great.
Yeah.
We're going to expand again, and it's awesome, and yay. I would really like to see the Quebec Nordiques come back, but thing is with Canada and Canadians in certain areas of Canada, if the team doesn't win, they don't come. And if they don't come, they don't make money, and then they can't get better players, and then they close shop and go somewhere else. That's business.
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to point to these guys as much as I love them. People, when they would start to lose in the fourth or fifth, people would leave. You can't go, and you got to support the teams that are there. But Montreal's a hockey town. They got the Canadiens, right? And the legacy of the 2,000 gazillion Stanley Cups they won.
Rocket Richard.
Reality. Yeah. Rocket Richard, Guy Lafleur, Rocket Richard's little brother, all of them. John Beliveau.
Yeah, Henry. Henry was his brother, right?
Yeah, the pocket rocket, as they called it. Yeah, Jean Beliveau, Cornwallier, all of those.
It totally means something different nowadays.
I'm a Leafs guy though, so I'm waiting to be vindicated from 1967, 10 years before I was born.
Well, you had this guy that dominated the Stanley Cup in the 70s.
Yeah, Ken Dryden.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
I got to meet him.
Did he win 6?
He's pretty cool.
Am I right on that?
Yeah, you are. Yep.
6?
Yeah. Yeah, he was cool because now when he became a politician,
you don't hear about him in the States anymore.
No, he was a politician and a senator. But when he was a politician, he was campaigning around and doing the rounds. I was like, damn, boys, this is Ken Dryden. We got to go check this out. We got to go meet Ken Dryden. It's Ken Dryden.
Wait, in Canada or the United States?
Yeah, Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ken Dryden's a Canadian. Yeah. He's a liberal. He was part of the Jean Chrétien government. He was a senator for a while.
Yeah,
Great
there was
guy. Awesome guy.
Phil Esposito and Chico Macchi. I guess they grew up together. They both came from the same town, and I happen to have been to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, when I was a kid, and I always thought they were from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. I didn't realize there were two different Sault Ste. Maries.
Yeah, there are, but they're not too far apart from each other, actually.
No.
But yeah, and they had a couple of really prestigious hockey programs over at the Sioux. Well, the OHL, right? Like the Ontario Hockey League's legendary. Like you get guys like Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey that came out of that league. Wayne Gretzky, he played
People
for the
think Bobby Orr
Indianapolis
was
Racers.
the greatest hockey player ever.
Yeah, Bobby Orr is pretty cool. Not gonna. I'm a Leafs fan. I gotta recognize.
Certainly had a better argument before Gretzky came along.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, then you talk about it's the LeBron versus Michael Jordan versus Wilt Chamberlain versus Dr. J versus Kareem,
playing the same position.
Magic.
It's hard to compare a defenseman. Everybody wants scoring.
Yeah. Bobby Orr was. He was amazing.
That's why one of my favorite hockey players was Paul Coffey. Man, I used to love to watch him play, and he could, he used to take the puck coast to coast. Good scoring defenseman, but he was also a badass defenseman. And one time I had tickets right up against the glass, and like I said, him and Lemieux were my favorite players, and so I had tickets up against the glass this one time, and don't you know, Paul Coffey got into a fight right in front of me, and guy he was fighting had his right against me. And Paul Coffey's throwing these blows, and it was like in 3D because I'm up against the glass watching his fist come at me. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. One of the greatest experiences of my life.
No, Paul Coffey.
What are the chances of him getting into a fight, facing me, right at his chances?
That's awesome.
Well, where I used to live in Ontario, in Kitchener, Paul Coffey was an alumni with the Kitchener Rangers organization, the OHL team there, the juniors. And he's royalty there. Like he's all his junior stuff. And then you start looking at the line of guys that have gone through their junior systems, like, Larry Robinson, these names, Max Domi's another one. Like there's so many names of these guys. And Paul Coffey's like, numbers retired, big sign, big thing. Like, man, even when he played with Edmonton, they wouldn't have did what they did without him. And that team, that team was legendary, man. Even before they were split up.
And Grant Fuhrer and Messier and Gretzky, and a sick team.
Dude, Moose, Coffey, Gretzky, Fuhr, Kevin Lowe, Asa Tikkanen, Marty McSorley. Like there's 7 right
Oh,
there.
I forgot
right?
about
Like,
McSorley. Yeah.
yeah, he was nuts. I'm a big fan of the tough
I
guys.
have.
Right?
You mentioned Larry Robinson. I have this Sports Illustrated autographed by him,
Oh,
and
nice.
he's coming
He's
down.
cool.
He's up against this guy, and he's throwing a punch at him, and they caught it like in midair right before he hits him. It's
Nice.
awesome. I have
That
that,
is
that
awesome.
thing autographed.
That's sweet.
It's like Larry
Yeah, I'm a
Robinson,
big
right?
fan.
That's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
no, I like that era of hockey, the grinding, the hard nosed type of style of playing. That's my era of hockey. I collect those guys, specifically autograph guys like Ty Domi and Gino Ojic and Dave Tiger Williams and those guys, because to me that's what hockey was about. It was about roughing people
Yeah,
up.
you know Selming.
Right.
Who, sir?
Selming.
Yeah, Borio
his name
Salmi.
right?
Yeah, Borio Salmi. He played for the Leafs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first big
sweetest,
European
first.
player, right? Like
Yes, sir, he
from
was.
in the NHL, and he took a lot of shit. And man, he took
certainly did.
a puck to the face or something. He had his whole stitches down his whole face. But
Yeah.
he was a really good defenseman. He has some cool cards too.
One of the best skaters I've ever seen in my life. And I remember
right?
I'm a Leafs fan, like diehard since I was little, like since I was old enough to walk. I've been bleeding blue, and I couldn't say his name. Yes, I did, and I remember my cousin and I were making fun of his name because we're stupid little kids and immature, judgmental turds, and we were like 6 or 7. And my uncle, he snapped his head at me. He goes, "It's Borio Salmi. Get it right. Pay attention to him. You like hockey?" Because we were both playing hockey at the time. "Do you like hockey? Learn how to play like him." And ever since then, it was like, 83, 84. I watched that guy till his retirement. And you know what I think is really cool? We just had Jay Pylon show up. Hey, Jay, thanks for coming.
What's up, Jay?
That the Leafs finally recognized Borio's contribution to that organization. They raised his number to the rafters. He was bad sick with Parkinson's, I think it was, or one of those degenerative type diseases. So at least he got to get the recognition that he finally deserved after taking all the crap. And it was crap from the other players, not necessarily the fans as well. It was other players.
Yeah.
And in Toronto itself, the organization itself, they held him back. It was because, again, he was one of the first. He was like,
yeah, and I mean they beat the hell out of him too because
they did.
Yeah, he was a tough player, and he,
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
It was similar. Well, listen, I don't want to compare this. Maybe not the significance, but you know what I mean. They did not welcome him, so it was kind of like when Jackie Robinson was playing, and they used to beat him all the time. And,
yeah, a little bit for sure.
Yeah, a little bit, just because they didn't want him there, and
clearly they didn't, and it changed the style of hockey.
Yeah,
it really did. It opened.
I mean, you gotta admire a guy that can come in and back in that era of hockey, they beat the piss out of you, and
yeah,
you gotta admire a guy that just stands there and takes it and is an exceptional player.
Yeah,
and he had a long career too, right?
Yeah, and for most people who didn't know, as much as we drink the Tim Hortons coffee, Tim Horton was an animal. He was a raging alcoholic. He used to beat his own teammates. He was a nutcase. He was absolutely off the wall. Like Doug Harvey, who was a raging alcoholic at the time, said that this man made him scared.
Really?
They tried to lock up his alcohol, and he took the door right off the hinges. They were like, "Not today, fellas." But very big strapping young fella. Like those guys were tough. They all were. It's like the old baseball players from the 20s. They'd smoke a pack of cigarettes, drink 5 or 6 beers, and go play ball for the afternoon. It's just the way they did things,
Yeah, Tim played for my Penguins at the end of his career. Tim Horton.
That's right.
There's a funny story about Tim Horton. I guess when he first opened up his coffee shops, he was still playing, and they weren't paying him and so he threatened. He said, "Okay, well, I have another income now. I have this coffee shop. I don't need this job." and then they ended up giving him the pay raise.
Nice.
Yeah.
But everybody was tough back then. Back to that point, they would say Gordie Howe would hit you, and no one would ever see it. Like the way he would hit you, but he was a lot more physical than he appeared.
Yeah, it was all elbows with him. It was elbows.
Yeah,
he'd
come by you and get a shot in, and nobody would see it.
Some of us were old enough to watch him sort of finish it off there when he came back, when he was the old guy skating around the ring a couple of times there to get whatever, to be the 80-year-old guy, and he was still roughing people up. Like he was a tough guy. They were all tough guys. Bobby Hall. Like,
he played a long time, man.
Oh, Bobby, man. I love that picture. He's missing his two front teeth.
Of hockey.
Yeah. Bobby Clark, too, man. Bobby Clark and the Broad Street Bullies, the old Philadelphia Flyers. Bertie Perron, the goaltender, he knocked the piss out of you if he wanted to. He was tough, too, man. Billy Smith from the Islanders, the old Islanders dynasty from the early 80s before the Oilers. Billy Smith.
With Mike Bossy, man.
Mike Bossy, and then
was a beast.
Yeah, and then LaFontaine
scoring machine.
Yeah, man, like they were crazy.
The Mike Bossy rookie card is still one of my favorite all-time cards in my collection, and I have one coming.
Nice.
God only knows how long it takes. Canada, they could take a month.
I know. I get it the other way. Now I paid $20 to ship a $2 card from the US to Canada. So, it sucks. We got to get some kind of pipeline going here. And I mean cards, CIA, FBI, whatever the heck you are. Cards, cardboard, pictures of men. Pictures of men.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It.
What's up, Sean? How you doing?
But yeah, like I love the 50s era of hockey. I love collecting that era too. I love collecting 50s era anything really. I think it was a cool time.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I love.
I have a big hockey collection. I don't show it that much, so people don't realize it.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah,
I do too. Like a pretty large, substantial.
I got so from like the 1912 set, which they don't know for a fact that Imperial Tobacco set. They don't know for a fact what year that was, but they may mark it, I believe, at 1912 or 11.
Yeah,
I think it's
1912.
Anyway,
yeah.
I have the Fred Cyclone Taylor from that set.
Oh.
He's the I don't know. That's my understanding. He was the first great scorer. And then I have the Art Ross too.
Yeah, Cyclone Taylor was the first big scorer of the time.
Yeah, and Art Ross was known to be the first defenseman to take the puck coast to coast, right?
Yep, Art Ross, and then there was Frank Selke. Yeah, there's a couple of those guys that were in. And then you get into the next era, which is the 2030s, and you get into the diamonds, the matchbooks, and certain things like that. They're pretty cool too. That's the other thing that is becoming more in vogue now that more people are restoring the more of the mainline stuff, is getting into more of that older vintage stuff that people didn't really pay much attention to because it's still original, right? Like matchbooks is something I was looking at.
They'll figure out a way to put the matches back into the matchbook soon.
If those
are worth $50,000, I can assure you somebody's going to find a way to put those matches back in there.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's always the way, right?
They have those Dixie lids, right, from the ice cream. They'll find a way to put ice cream.
Yeah,
I'm just joking around.
But no, it's true. They will. If there's money involved, that's the thing, right? When there's money involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hobby's just worth too much money these days. So I don't know, like the people that collect, just like you guys and like me, you get priced out of things, and it's just not the same. I was telling you before we started this, when I was growing up, the cards, they were cheap, and anybody could be a member of the hobby. I was a little kid with just a pocket full of change, go buy cards all day long.
Right.
And now you can't be a poor person and participate in this hobby, and that's something that makes me sad for kids. Because we didn't have $100, $200 packs or even $40 blasters or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
25 cents, 50 cents. Right, and you would get a lot of cards free when you bought products. right?
That's
Those
right.
days are
Or
gone.
That's one thing they don't do now
You get
either.
Kellogg's cards for free, Hostess cards for free, just about anything you bought in the 80s and 90s.
yeah, exactly it, my man.
Now the only thing you get for free is when
a headache.
when the men crack open when they open packs, they'll give away all the regular cards and you're just looking for hits.
Right.
So I guess
we
you
were
can get those for free still.
we were mentioning something about this before, but I was at a card show and I was watching these kids. I'd have to say they're like early teens, right? So they're opening up this box of football cards, like brand new Panini something rather. It was just in a box, and they're opening up the cards and just throwing the cards on the floor at the show, like they're sitting on the outside of the show and just on the floor, cards all around them. Like you had to walk around them to be able to walk past them, walk around all these cards on the floor, and almost the whole, like probably a couple $100 worth of cards there. Well, they're not worth, but I mean what they just paid for the box, just sitting all over the floor. And these kids don't care. They're just sitting there looking for the autograph or the rookie or whatever.
You're looking for Ellie De La Cruz or the 20,000th O'Neal Cruz. Now I like O'Neal Cruz, so hopefully he bounces back.
Bad for him when he got injured last year.
Me too, man. He was on a roll, bro. He was stone cold. I love O'Neal Cruz, man. I hope he bounces back. But like, that's the problem, right? And they're devaluing their own hobby. They don't see it. And then the black case guys show up at the shows,
trying to 10 times everything.
And everything's like, they think they're playing poker at like the Bellagio, bro. It's like right. Your balls haven't even dropped yet. What are you doing? You're still pissing yellow, and you're telling me what $10,000 is worth? Go home. Your mother's not paying me to babysit you right now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Then it comes over to YouTube. You have all these videos, and it's like $1,000 at this card shop, and it's like, well, good for you.
I know. Congratulations.
And I don't know what. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Right.
It's all about the money.
Well, and there's certain people that we could all point the finger at that are blamed for that overhyping and the influencing and stuff. But you know what? They're just doing their own thing too, and I'm not going to judge anybody on how they do or what they do. I'm not going to, throw a rock in a glass house, but there are certain elements that I find it's just a statement of society in general, where the people like the younger generations really have not been forced to think for themselves, fend for themselves, or anything like that. So there is that, the little Tommy that's going to show up at the show with a $20,000 card and thinks he's walking away with the Babe Ruth.
Well, every generation does that, right? These young people today, it's like when if you listen to Ty back in 1960, he would those players were kind of frustrated at the modern players didn't hustle enough and they got paid too much. And like you listen to Charles Barkley and some of the basketball players that played in that era talk about how nobody plays defense anymore and they
don't
game. So every generation changes and every generation goes through that. But you could see they've changed the game of baseball so that people hit more home runs. Everybody loves home runs. They made the bases the size of manhole covers so we could get more stolen. They changed the way they clock pitches to make it look like a pitcher throws faster than he actually does, because they used to clock it when it crossed home plate. Now they clock it when it leaves the hand. So they do these little tiny things to make the game more exciting and bigger and larger. Then the NFL changed all the rules so that we could have 52 to 49 football. And, look at the NHL. You didn't see 10 to 9 hockey games in the old days. That's not how you play hockey. It's
maybe
like nobody wants to see
tops.
a 22 to 19 soccer game. Like, that's not what the game is about. But it's all about the scoring, and nobody has an attention span anymore. Appreciate truly the nuances of the games. And that has come over into the card collecting world, where you don't appreciate the little cards anymore. You just want that home run.
Yep.
That's my analogy for the day.
And to quote Charles Barkley, when you're bagging guys, you better roll off them.
That's right.
You know what? I've never looked at Charles Barkley the same since. and I love him more and more by the day. Honest to God, God bless his heart. I tell you, that panel that the NBA team has, with Kenny the Jet and Shaq and of course Charles, that's such a great thing, man. That's like
I love it.
They got lightning in a bottle over there. Some of the funniest shit that you've ever heard comes out of Charles.
They go at it pretty good too.
They do. Yeah. They do. Have some good arguments.
It is, and glad that Kenny the Jet's back because he tends to be the adult in the room a lot of the time.
Anybody that watched those Piston teams in the late '80s,
Dan Marley.
You don't even know how exciting defense can be.
No. And do you remember when Michael Jordan went up against Bill Laimbeer and Bill Laimbeer's went, not today. Yeah. Boom! Just dropped him
took him down.
Bill Laimbeer used to buddy.
He just literally and then the next year Jordan came back 20 pounds heavier and he didn't fall down that time.
Right.
But that was the style, right? Like Anthony Mason was the same thing with the Knicks, man.
I mean, Dennis Rodman was you just brought him in to rebound, man. That's all you needed him to do.
Yep. He would dominate today's game.
A different game.
He would dominate today's rebounding. He would just be the master again because nobody does it.
Well, everything's turning into an all-star game. Like baseball is the only all-star game of all the sports that even has somewhat of a real game feel. The NBA is just high fly. They don't play defense. NHL, they don't play defense. I mean, that one year my man Mario Lemieux had seven points, and that team had 7 goals, right? Every time he went down the ice. I remember Marshall Faulk one year had 7 touchdowns. They just let him run right down the field. Like, I don't even watch. They're absolutely no fun. The only one I watch is the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you should just, it's just like a skill. You should just have a skills competition, really, if that's what you want it to be. And then in football,
like with the football.
They changed it. Yeah, and the Pro Bowl used to be after the Super Bowl, and then it played in the Super Bowl. Because every year, like, you could pick probably from those 2 teams 5 Pro Bowlers who were the best in the league. Like, what the hell is a Pro Bowl without Patrick Mahomes, without Purdy, without, Bosa, without Travis Kelce? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And without Taylor Swift.
Players. Yeah. So it's just not even fun to watch anymore. At least with the NBA, you have the skills. Like you have the slam dunk competition, the 3-point. That's more fun to watch than the actual
always
game.
A fun one to watch.
Because you can only watch so many dunks. When you watch the plays of the day for NBA, it's just dunk after dunk after dunk. After you've been watching it for 30 years, the excitement kind of fades.
And now they get excited when they copy somebody else's dunk that they did back in the day. Like, was it last year? I think they were copying Mailman's dunk. And so they're going crazy every time they copied a Mailman dunk. And I was just like, come on, guys. Like,
well, I'm
and then you had like Giannis put up 64 points that one week, and then next thing you know, Luka Doncic, what's he put up? 60
Luka dropped 60. Yeah.
60. And
then, they all brought their barbecue sauce.
Who was it? Embiid that put up like 70.
Yeah. Somebody put up 71, 74 points.
And then blew his leg out. And then he blew his leg out. So guess what? Embiid's at nothing.
Oh, did he?
Now. Yeah, he's done.
I didn't hear that. I
finito.
He's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, no, he's done at least for the next little bit. And then you got the other guy waving around. There on Instagram, right? The whole face of the NBA. Like, what are you thinking? Again, I think honestly, and this is just my criticism of the generation that's coming up, is they're bred like logic and common sense is almost. It's bred out of them now. Like they don't have people are not forced to think for themselves, and it leads to really poor decision making. I guess.
Yes.
Hey man, I got poor decision making skills from way back in the day, and I was able to read. So I can just imagine now.
Well, I was just talking to people about this because I'm old enough that I got beat in school if I acted up. Like you get paddled. I got paddled by the damn wrestling coach. And let me tell you something, you don't want to get paddled by the wrestling coach. You had to stand there and take it.
Or a series of Catholic nuns.
I couldn't tell my parents that I got hit. I couldn't even tell them because my dad would have hit me again. And so nowadays, you know, if your teacher hits you, it's a lawsuit. They're getting fired.
Yeah. For real though.
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
we
and then you
couldn't
went
even
home.
tell our parents because they didn't want you acting up.
Yep, because you know what,
you were guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. My dad was the same way.
Now,
I got one for acting up and another one for being a rat. Well, yeah, how are you telling me? It's already been dealt with. What are you coming to me for?
Yeah.
You know, and you know what? Honestly, I've talked to my pops about this. My dad's 76 years old. And I said to him, you know, like, it was a different time. He goes, yeah, but I'd be still wiping your butt. And he's right. Like, you know, we were taught how to think for ourselves. And yeah, you know what? I went to Catholic school too for a little bit when I was young. And you know what? A series of Catholic nuns were no joke either. And they had no problem laying it down, you know. And but you learn.
Yeah, well,
right?
I mean, but we were accountable. Like, you didn't do that shit. Like, so if you went online, if you went up to somebody and you said a tiny fraction of the shit that people tell you online on your videos, I mean, for that, you can't do that in person.
I know.
Your ass kicked.
I know. Yeah. And you know what though? Because it's the internet and because they're trolls, I like to have fun. Like the other day, right? When that guy's like, did you write this story? And I'm like, no, it was actually a guy from the flea market named Slippery Pete. And he said if I give him a hand job, then he'll let me have the story for the show. And he never replied back. I was like, funny thing. And you know what else somebody else told me to do? Next time somebody trolls like that, pin their comment to the top and just mess with them because they got to keep coming back to the video to watch it again as they're typing. So keep going, guys. Thanks for the watch time. Yeah, I appreciate and I always say, make sure you hit the dislike because it helps the algorithm. It really does. If you got a video with 100 likes, YouTube's algo will think, hey, it's all of his friends, all of his supporters. But if you get real people they dislike, it means it's real engagement. The algo really likes it. Right? Yeah, man. Like that's straight from like YouTube content creator.
Can you still see your dislikes? Can you see those anymore?
No, not publicly, but you can when you go to your content page on your channel. You can, but
you can.
Yeah, outside.
I don't know where. I don't even know where to see that.
When you go to content, if you scroll over to the right, it'll be like content dislike ratio, and usually on average,
say like 100% or 80%,
right.
Or
I know one guy.
Like,
oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was just going to say
there's a little bit of a delay, so I keep finding myself starting before you're done. I apologize.
Oh, don't worry about it, man. But there's one guy that has over 3,000 views on one video, and he's got more dislikes than likes. He's like, I don't care. It just keeps going up and up and up. I'm like,
right.
What a way to think about it, though. Because, again, back to the old adage, someone's business or what somebody thinks of you is none of your business. So you're not going to change their opinion anyway. They're going to force it or they're going to form their own. So just go right on, dude, and keep going. And you got to have thick skin to roll around here in these streets. It gets rough.
Mm-hmm.
And
I try to put the negativity out. So for the most part,
I make fun of them.
I don't mind if it's just a critique or something, or somebody's upset about something. But just the flat out rude comments or whatever, I just delete and block them. But
stuff. But of course, I have fun with it first.
I want to do that. Did you guys ever see the South Park episode where Cartman can't handle all the negative comments on social media? The PC principal calls in Stan. Well, no one will do it, so Butters ends up doing it. They go through his feed and pull out the negative comments and only give him the good comments so that he's in a good place.
He lives in an echo chamber. Yeah.
That's what I try to do that. So like negativity, I try to just block them, delete them. I don't want to have to look at it.
Yep.
Oh, I do that,
but God only knows how many there are.
Oh no, dude, I do that too. But I make fun of them and I keep the comments up for a little bit just to keep them screwing around. And then they get bored of me playing with them because I'm like, oh, I got nothing to do for the next 20 minutes. Sure, let's go ahead. And again, I guess it comes down to it, right? Like when I was a kid, I used to have to do a lot of work that faced the public. So when I was used to people like, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, and it does get to you. But after a while, you're like, I don't really care what you think. Like, think about it. If they're taking the time to tell you how much you suck, then that really tells you how much they suck. Like, honestly, don't you have better things to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like, just move on, man.
Yeah.
My favorite's
Somebody
when
called me old. Somebody called me old or something. They made some stupid. They were like coming at me, and I don't know. I said something about I don't know. Well, you know, come try this old man or something like that. And he's like, "What are you threatening me?" I'm like,
I am
dude,
the great
just move
Cornholio.
on. Yeah.
Are you
I'm
telling me?
You live in
I need TV for my mobile.
5 states away. You live 5 states away. How am I threatening you? I don't
My
have no
favorite.
idea where you live.
My favorite is when they start talking crap about it, and they keep talking to each other about how bad it is. So then they end up leaving like 8 different comments in like one thread, and so it just keeps going and going and
I know,
going.
it's like, thanks for the engagement, jackass. Yeah, no, for real though.
Well, you know, people
I'm
are
like
so people can be so mean and cruel. Card show here in Charleston, and I met a little kid came up to me and he's like, "You're on YouTube," and I said, "Yeah," and I said, "You know my opening?" And I said, "You want to do my opening?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I had him do my opening, and I made a short out of it. And the first
I
comment
remember
was a
that.
rude one. The first comment, little kid, it's like, "What the hell is your problem?"
Right?
I mean, a little kid. Everybody's gotten so mean to each other, and everything's so combative. You know, whether it's the housewives shows or our government or whatever it is, everybody's just at each other's throats all, and it's getting really annoying.
it's really disheartening is what it is. If you let it get to you,
Yeah.
it really is disheartening. Because you're like, haven't we moved the ball a little bit further than this in 2024? And then you're like, no, not at all.
Dude, let me tell you
Right?
something. There's any
Going
class
backwards.
anymore. No one knows how to treat people. No one has any class. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams you'd see somebody bitch slap the comedian at the Oscars? Like, there's
Right?
no class anymore.
Right?
None at all.
No, and all that on okay, yeah. No, I'm with you.
That's supposed to be like setting the standard for class. It's like watching those people.
Oh, they're all nuts. They're all
Oh, yeah.
weirdo cultists.
I'll tell you what, I was a huge Will
They're
Smith
nuts.
fan. I can't even stomach to watch it. I
Yeah.
can't watch a movie of his anymore. I can't
Right.
stand him anymore.
Hey, what's more for the people in the back, eh? Like, for real. No, I mean that. Like, seriously, no jokes. That was absolutely disgusting. And it's the worst kept secret in the world.
Did you see
man.
the speeches at the Grammys?
Oh, they're all weirdos.
I mean, they
and
were just
self-serving nut jobs.
talking about not wearing underwear, and I mean,
No,
it was just outrageous.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
then-
didn't even see the Grammys.
And then
No
we wonder
class.
why society's so like weird. But yeah,
Crazy.
so that's why I do baseball cards and stuff because it takes me away from all this stuff.
Right?
But you know what? It creeps up.
Absolutely, that's what a hobby's all about. It's a fantasy
Yeah.
land to get away
Hey,
from.
but
That's
it
right.
does creep up, man. And you're right. You got to squash it down when it comes up. I just like a cat.
Vintage
I like
because
I like to toy with
those
it
guys-
first, and then I'll kill it.
yeah. But that's the difference between collecting vintage and modern, because I do both. But modern, these guys are still developing, and you don't know who's going to be an asshole yet, and you don't know who's going to get arrested yet, and you don't know who's going to never play again.
Yeah.
You have that history, you know where they stand, and you don't have those risks involved. Number one, for the amount
Right.
of money you're spending, and
Correct.
number two, you know, like if I collected Will Smith all my life, and then now I don't like him. Like, what a waste, what a disappointment to me. Like, and I went
Right.
through that with Antonio Brown. I'm a big fan. I have a signed helmet over here. I bought all his rookie cards, all his autographed rookie cards, which I don't even go out of my way to do that, but I did with him. And then he turns out to lose his damn mind.
Yeah.
And so you know, that doesn't happen with old players.
No, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true, and that's the thing, right? And you know, I feel bad because I got a close friend of mine that, you know, he was quite hard on that fella from Tampa Bay, and he's in for some cash, and you know, you might as well just throw those out in the burn barrel. at this
Right.
point. Yeah, because I think he's probably going to jail. That fella.
Oh yeah. I don't think they released him yet. I think
Who's
he's
that?
still Wander.
Franco.
Who's that?
Wander Franco.
Wander.
Yeah,
Wander.
I was thinking
Yeah.
football. I was thinking football. Sorry.
Oh no, but yeah,
Yeah.
same thing with the John Morant guys. The guys that were PCing John Morant, like, sorry, is this the handgun relic? Is this the flash muzzle, relic that's embedded in the gun?
Yeah, I mean, what John Morant did wasn't the smartest thing, but it wasn't like the worst thing either. I mean,
Right.
No,
yeah,
He's
he's
starting
got
to
show
recover
gun.
from it.
I don't want to downplay the whole thing with
I think
the,
he's starting to recover from it. What's up, Don? How you doing? Or Dan? Sorry, Dan.
but you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to downplay the
No, I
significance
know
of
what you mean.
what
I know
Mr.
exactly what
Franco
you
was
mean.
in.
Yeah.
But Tatis, right? I was a huge Tatis collector, bro. Big time, big time, big time. All in, all in, all in. And this was right at the top of the hype, right? So of course you're paying pretty heavy for a lot of stuff. And next thing you know, PEDs, and he's a jackass, and he's a drunk, and he's this, he's that, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's great. Might as well just burn these.
Yeah.
PEDs don't bother honest with you because I mean, I've never used any kind of illegal PED or anything, but at my age, like, I still work out. I take a lot of supplements. I don't take anything illegal. I don't take steroids, nothing like that. But I understand where these guys are coming from. And let me tell you something, things forever. So what's not fair is the guys that get caught, like Starling Marte and him. I mean, some of them get a pass. Like David Ortiz tested positive, did he not?
Yeah, he did.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Pudge
So
Rodriguez.
when you see this many people get, that means that it's way more widespread. These are just the guys that get caught. It's like in the NFL, like they caught a few people for marijuana use, and they keep catching them because once you get caught, then they keep testing you, but they're not testing everybody else all the time.
That's
It's
true.
like, my God, like 60% of the country, it's legal in like 6 states. Why are you even testing for it? Because it certainly doesn't help you play football. It's not going to help you play.
It was certainly an open secret in the NBA locker room. That was certainly an open secret in the NBA locker room that most people were smoking pot. A lot of guys were.
It's just,
I can tell you, I know
everybody.
two NBA guys personally that I've met over the years that told me they smoke.
How's that help you play marijuana? It makes you stupid and slow. Like, it doesn't help you play.
Well,
it does the opposite. I mean,
some
when you
of
go
us
down the court, you forget where you're going. You forget which court you're at, right? Like when you're driving, you forget where you're going. But, everything looks the same.
For some people, it keeps you from going to jail. So there's that.
Dirk says, "Dude, throw me the ball, man."
Yeah, man, take it here, man.
Well, what's funny is, like, when you're driving, so they're like going like 25 miles an hour. They think they're going 55. So, I mean, how's that going to help you play ball?
Right.
Like, I remember in the 80s, Larry Bird smoked after the game, smoked cigarettes. Like, that can't be good for your lungs. Like, whatever.
As long as they're not ordering a pizza on the sideline.
Artist Gilmore was doing bumps off of strippers' butts before games in the ABA.
Well, you know what? They've been stealing signs since the beginning of baseball. In the 1990s, Braves admitted to stealing the signs. They had a guy with a towel up in the dugout during Harvey Haddock's 12 perfect innings. So this has been going on forever. Bobby Thompson's college shot was supposedly, he knew what pitch was coming. I mean, that's why they have signals. But caught at it, you're like banned. Everybody hates you. You're a cheater. Unless you're New England Patriots, then you get a pass.
Then you're good.
Because Bill Belichick got caught with pictures of my Pittsburgh Steelers, but that's okay, I guess.
Right.
So they pick and choose who they want to be out.
Yeah,
because that's just the game. That's just the game.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
But well, it's like NASCAR too back in the day.
Thing for me, do you guys know what they're getting? All I ever hear is PEDs. I don't know what they're using. Do you guys know?
I thought it was human growth hormones.
Is that what they're getting caught with?
That's what I heard. But again, they use brand names, and those change every 5 seconds, right? So
Yeah, but I mean,
Right.
there's ways of boosting your HGH naturally through certain amino acids. Take it on an empty stomach. Hell, if you want to do interval training where you sprint for like 30 seconds, that boosts your HGH levels. So there's other ways to do that.
the only time I'm running,
It's
John,
like,
is if it's on fire.
yeah, there's certain things that you can eat that will make you test positive for amphetamines, like
Yep.
poppy seeds. You could have
Yeah.
a false reading of amphetamines. So I don't know what they're taking. If they're taking shots of human growth hormone, then yeah, that's a problem, man, because that shit's powerful.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Look at Hulk Hogan. Now he deflated like a balloon, bro. Speaking
Yeah.
of weird,
Shoot, look at
speaking of
that.
weird perverts, Vince McMahon friggin' deflated like a bad balloon too, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
what a dude.
look at the NFL players in the 70s and early 80s. I said on my video, man, those guys, all those linemen were on steroids. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I mean, what would help you more? Would steroids help you more to hit a Nolan Ryan fastball, or to block on the front line of a football game?
Correct.
Right.
Obviously, it helps football players.
Exactly. And exactly sports cards and things. I'm exactly with you on that too. 100%.
Well, when I was growing up, and I went to baseball camp. I was around a lot of my coaches played professional baseball and stuff. They didn't want you working out. They wanted your muscles too tight and affected your throwing, and they discouraged working out and like with weights and stuff like that. So when that whole steroid era came around, I found that interesting because it was total opposite.
Yeah, it was weird, right? Like, but you can't deny that Barry Bonds went from 180 pounds to like 400 pounds in like a summer. Like, I'm
Yeah, but the
exaggerating.
thing that I don't understand, here's the thing I don't understand. Is he the only man on the planet that took steroids and got fat? Like, steroids are
No.
supposed to trim
Look
you
at
down
Roger Clemens.
most
Roger
of the time.
Clemens' neck was bigger than my body. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, when guys get old, they get fat. You would think the steroids would trim them down a little bit. Like when
yeah,
when I think of steroids, I think of Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa. You're built like that. You're not fat.
Mhm.
I always
no,
wondered.
that's true.
I always wondered that about those guys.
Yeah.
I always wondered, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's always
I mean,
weird how that
when you
goes.
look at Willie Stargell in 1983, you're not thinking he's on steroids.
No, but I'm pretty sure he's doing a couple of rails here and there.
Dude,
But hey,
couple
man, I
rails
love
here.
Pops. Hey, man, we are family. There's a heck of a lot going on in that family, let's go say. But you know what? I love Pops.
Hey,
I collect Pops, and I love the Cobra. I think Dave Parker should be in the Hall of Fame. He's getting a bad deal because of all those rumors, with the partying and stuff. But I think Dave Parker
It's
should
the
be in the
people
Hall
that
of
got
Fame.
caught.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right. Speaking of Cobra, you had quite the awesome card you showed the other day. Was it Cincinnati Cobra? Was that who it was? The boxing card?
Yeah. Ezra Charles,
Yes.
fat ass.
Yeah, that
I
was
have a
awesome.
different one. I had one late. Yeah, I got a Burke Ross the other day too.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
And I have his ringside card coming too because I collect that set.
Oh, nice. So what? So I see that you like to collect like the type 1, type 2, and 3 type photos and stuff like that. What would you say would be your favorite out of those type of photos
All
that you
right,
have?
just I really don't collect many photos. I just have a few. I have a handful. So this is a Clemente from 1967,
Nice.
and it has the newspaper, like the write up, and then
Okay.
this is cool. This is a Type 1 Hack Wilson from around 30, early 30s.
Nice.
And
Nice.
this one, if you take a look at it, it's identically 3 Gaudi. So it's probably the picture that was used for that. But those
Okay.
are painted on and the bat's in a little bit of a different position. And my guess is that they used this picture but took a little artistic liberty.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, Hack
Yeah.
Wilson was pretty good.
I mean, the Clemente is not a Type 1, but it's like 2 years later or something. It's in the time period. But that's hard not to love, even though Clemente is my man, and that image is phenomenal.
Yeah, I like seeing that in the
Since
background
that's
there.
a Type 1, that's probably a little more meaningful.
Nice. Now,
Speaking of Type 1 and Type 2, if I don't get on a treadmill, that's probably going to be a conversation we're going to be having soon.
That's right. You're gonna have to take those shots.
Hell no.
Now autograph wise, are you a big autograph collector? Do you go after autographs, or is it just one of those type of things that if you see it and come across one, then you go for it?
Yeah, the thing is I have a lot of autographs, but it's funny because I have a lot, but I tell people I don't collect autographs. And where like I don't go up to people and ask them for their autograph. Like when I go to the National or card show, I think this past show I went to like a year ago was the first time I ever got a player's signature. It was Eric Green, who played for my Steelers, and I was a huge fan of his, and I was a kid with him for some reason.
Nice.
And I got his, but I have them. It's like if I see something that that stands out to me, then I'll get it. Especially if it's a player I really admire, or just a card. Like I went through a kick where some of the cards that are kind of, even though they're not maybe big players, but they were cards that I remember, getting as a kid. I would get those signed just because they're kind of nostalgic to me. And
Nice.
sometimes, if a player doesn't have a card, you might, get an autograph on a great card, or like I have a Red Grange signed sportscaster card.
Oh, nice.
Red Grange doesn't have many. I think the 55 is, and the 33 Sport King. I think those are his only two big ones, if I'm not mistaken. I do that, but mostly I'm a card guy. Foremost, I'm a card guy. I like the cards, and most of the time I don't want them signed. Most of the time, like I just want a nice example of the card.
Nice. I saw you had those open up those stadium clubs, the new stadium clubs. Those look really nice, and
Oh
they look
yeah,
even better in those slabs that you end up getting. Those things are really clean looking, especially with the new labels
that
they sent
stadium
you.
club's phenomenal. Yeah, I could show them to you.
Yeah, those things are really cool. They look really nice.
Yeah, I was that set, and I love the all the big rookie cards, but that Adley Rushman disappointed me. I don't think it's a very nice rookie card. It's just him like without a hat on in the dugout.
Sorry,
What
I
is
heard
that
that.
noise?
I know.
Anyway,
I think that
I
was
was
Maiden's
moving my
microphone.
camera. Yeah, I was moving my camera.
Oh, nice.
so I got these.
Nice.
These are
That was
one laying
funny.
around. These are the Mag Pros that Zion Cases is making now, and they have two magnets here, and then they have a label. One has a price tag on it, so if you sell cards, you can put it in here and write the price on it.
Oh, that's
Or
cool.
if you just want to know how much your cards are worth, I guess you could do that. Use it for that too. One is like just a generic label with lines on it, so you could customize and write. The third one is just the Mag Pro, but they don't publicize it. But you can reach out to them and have individual labels made. So for me, I just got a bunch of these personalized ones, but you can also have them individual. So if you want to put the specific card or whatever, you could put
Oh, that's cool.
John's collection, Mel Blount rookie card, or whatever
That's
you want
really
to put.
cool. Yeah, that's neat.
Or if it's like a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 5, you could put like right on the label. And they make different sizes. So if you have the oversized, so they have 35 point, 55 point, that kind of thing.
Oh,
And
nice.
their customer service was exceptional. They don't sponsor me or anything. I'm just sharing my experience. But I reached out and asked if I could have some labels made because I don't like theirs. I was trying to create my own, but I was struggling with it. I'm not really that artistic. And I couldn't figure out how to size. So I reached out to them and say, hey, can you make me labels? And they said, yeah, we could design a logo for you, or we could just put a name or whatever. And I'm like, well, I just want my name on there, my collection name. And so in like 10 minutes, I had a whole sheet of different fonts and different designs for it.
Nice.
And she's like, okay, I'm going to send you a PayPal. I paid it, and she shipped it the same day. So she created the label, gave me options, and shipped it, printed them and shipped them the same exact day. So
That's really cool.
I mean, where do you find
That's
customer
some
service
customer
like that
service,
these days?
right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
I could
had to
see
order
Double
some
D.
more this morning. Oh,
Because
Double D, my man Dylan.
I was gonna say I could see Double D getting a whole bunch of those for his own
Oh,
graded collection that he likes to do.
sorry, I thought you said he was in the chat. Yeah, he's on this. So he would always do those card saver 2s with the label on them, and he would grade them all.
Yeah.
They look amazing. He has them all in his room, and they're so uniform.
Yeah,
So
it's
now
such a
he's on
great
this kick.
display.
Yeah, awesome. So now he's on this kick for one touches. So he has a secondary collection, and they're all going into one touches, and then he puts like a label up here.
Oh,
That he
okay.
wrapped. Looking through your box, you can read it, and he has them all typed out. Yeah,
Nice.
so man, he must spend hours doing that stuff.
Oh, I know, man. That'd be crazy. I spent hours just
Yeah, but
organizing cards by the year and all that. I can't imagine doing all that too.
I
do
get
remember
it.
that
His
phase.
thrill is curating my collection. I've been spending. I spent a few weeks where, I still have cards that have holders from 2001, right? Some of them probably from the 90s. The old ones that had yellowing with the cloudy top of the top loader.
Yeah.
And I spent several weeks I got all kind of new holders and stuff. And I'm not a big grading guy. I like some cards look good in one holder and other cards look better in other holders and that kind of thing. And I'll just sit there for hours and reholder and organize. If I have a little set of 15 cards or something, I like them all to be very uniform.
Nice.
And again, I'm not a big grader. I have over 100,000 cards. I have like all the cards you show. I have those kinds of cards. And number one, it would cost me $1 million to grade all my cards, and to send PSA, $20 or $30 to grade a $2 card. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
None at
so
all.
agreed.
I agree. That's why, like, when I look for buying cards and it's like a card that I'm interested in, and I can buy it for under what it costs to grade, I'm all for that. Like, especially when it's close
Especially if
to.
you're not going to sell it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
if you're not going to sell it, who cares?
Right.
What number somebody else assigns to the damn card?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about the money
let
right there.
whoever inherits your collection worry about that, right?
Right. So speaking of inheriting collections, I was going through my dad's stuff, and I ended up finding some old cardboard gold sleeves, like card sleeves.
Oh yeah,
and they got
awesome.
And still some screw down holders, with the with the screws included.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pancake
I still buy
cards.
those sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
pancake cards.
Here's another.
They
like
still
this.
make those. I'm surprised they do, but they still make them. I have a whole bunch of them.
Right. It says still 85
the
cents
big
for.
site,
Still has the
That's all they
85-cent label
charged?
on it.
More expensive now.
Right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Those like inch lucite.
I'm just playing. I'm not.
Those are like $20 just for
Oh,
one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
they
know
can
what
get
those
expensive.
lucites are great for? They're great for stamps. They're great for the old the silk that look like the T205. They're awesome for those silks because nothing holds them, and if you grade them, they get all bunched up over time, and you can't. They look like crap. So I would never grade another one. But those lucites, man, they hold those silks because they're very fragile. But they look spectacular and crystal clear. So I use
Nice.
them for that, and I use them for very flat things like stamps.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not a big fan of screw downs.
No,
No,
me
I'm
neither.
not falling asleep. I'm just comfortable. Plus, I have a Minecraft game on the go, so I'm farming iron right now. So,
So when on
but
the
it
topic
is
of,
getting late for me.
it is getting late over there for you.
Yes, almost
Well,
midnight.
I only got a couple more questions, and we'll go ahead and end this here. But
Oh, you guys can go, man. Do what you want, man. I'm
I
just
had a
gonna go until I
question
can't.
for on the topic of like preserving cards and all that kind of stuff. So
Sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta stop you right there. Do you see what Princess just said?
oh
Maiden's right through his eyes. See, everybody wants to watch me fall asleep on your stream.
all
But
right,
I'm
see, I
not
did it on yours, so
right. I'm not giving you the satisfaction at all, ever.
we were talking about NASCAR once, and I ended up falling asleep. I was gone. I was checking out.
And instead of waking him up, Maiden being such a good pal, puts him on the big screen.
That's right.
I've
I
never
I was
mean,
fallen
like,
asleep on tours have when I'm talking.
that was awesome, Zach. Now, you guys, I enjoy both of you very much. Both channels I enjoy watching on my own time as well. See, there's a difference between watching to give back people that help you, and there's a difference between watching stuff you actually want to watch. And you two
Good
both
point.
good. You two,
That's a good point.
You two, I really enjoy watching a lot, and you have so much knowledge, John. You have such a nice collection, and thank you again for entertaining my offer to come hang out with these two derelicts for a little minute. It's been
No,
nice.
I'm thrilled. I appreciate the comments. I
Oh,
was
you
excited
guys,
to come on because
oh,
I watch you guys, and you guys just have a good vibe. Like
thank
you
you.
love cards. You don't
And
you're into
he's
the
my boy.
same kind of cards that I collect,
Yeah.
and it takes me back to the way I used to collect before grading and all this stuff that goes on today.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys have a good positive vibe.
Thank you,
I
and
enjoy
we
it.
try.
Thank you so much.
We try, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like we need to keep it moving, as they say.
Don't have no room for that drama stuff.
You know what? Half of that.
That's right. So on that I just need a couple more questions for you really quick.
No, I was just saying, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Just chilling.
On preserving cards, what do you think about opening up old packs of cards? Because I do a lot of that. And I have found when I open up, I find all sorts of different conditions inside the pack of cards. And especially like the old tops when they have the bubble gum on it. What do you think about opening up
Yep.
packs to preserve the card, or are you for keeping the box and keeping them all inside the car in the packs and keeping them sealed?
Well, for me, I have a hard time keeping them sealed because I want to know what the hell's inside there. I
Yeah,
have
me
a
too.
few that are still closed. I haven't opened. None graded. And I know there are a lot of people that collect the unopened, like Brandon's baseball cards, for instance. For me, I open most of them. I just can't stand it. And you're right, like over top bubblegum, not going to be good. And the early 2000 Bowman cards, they stick together like a brick.
Oh yeah.
So in
Well, we
some
got a
ways,
lot of brick
opening it is
cards.
better. Yeah. In some ways, opening it is better to preserve them, depending on what year it is and so forth. But that's also why I would never an unopened pack. I see all these guys doing that, and man, they get all these cards that are like they think they're going to get all these 10s, and they get 7s and 6s, and
Oh, yeah.
there's all kind of issues with the cards, and you paid it, top dollar. You're better off. I don't know. Like you're very
You're
mega card.
better off buying a vending box that hasn't been searched, and go that way. If you're going to go for vintage unopened, vending boxes are still the way to go. Now, you got to know how to tell whether one's been screwed with or not. And some people are really
and that's
good
the
at
problem. They're resealed and repacks and Frankenstein packs.
And even if they
shit that goes on these days, it's hard to trust anything.
Right, even the ones that are that BBCE sealed ones, you still have a chance of getting screwed over on that. Like that Pokemon with the.
I think we could all agree that we've been duped, fellas.
Yeah.
What a fucking
I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, that's just another, gambling aspect of the hobby, which a lot of people have fun with. And hell, if you have 25 grand and you can buy a 1950 something pack, I mean, it's a blast,
Right.
right? But it's a blast for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, I got
It's
25,000
like getting,
reasons I could do something else with.
yeah, to when you're 19. I mean, 2 minutes later, you want your money back. You're like, it's over. Like
Right.
you
Yeah.
had, was it really worth it? Or it's like putting a ton of money on the roulette
Yeah.
one number, and you get
That.
that thrill, but then as soon as you lose,
Nah.
it's immediate regret. I think that's how it would be for me to an expensive pack of cards.
Yeah. That's how I feel with like new modern cards.
That's
It's
how I
just
feel
so
about 2
expensive.
tattoos.
So he's talking about opening of cards, and so I got to open up just at least one pack of cards because that's just the thing I like to do. And like, sorry, I said one pack. We're gonna do two. So I'm gonna go turn this around really quick.
Where we there at?
I'm just turning it around really fast. We got some 86.
Yeah,
'cause
I
like,
have the hardest time not opening a pack. Like I stare at it, and finally I just open it. I only have
I
a few
gotta.
unopened.
Sometimes when I'm down to like
Keep, I
one
should
pack
say,
of it, I'll keep.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but
I'm sorry.
no, I just wanted to say I'll show it to you. Like I have like one, and also with the rack packs, I do this because they're way better for this. Where is it? But like I keep one that has a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card on it.
Oh,
On the
nice.
front, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
So
yes, NPP.
that's kind of the exception to me because that's the only card I would be looking for in that pack anyway,
Right.
and I have it. I know it's there, but it's kind of cool to see it in its original state.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be finding a Billy Rick and a face card in a solo anyway, so there's no point opening it at that point.
Well, I might have to open that one because you wouldn't be able to tell which version it was, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Killing me. I'd have to know.
Yeah, that's how I am. I gotta know. I gotta know what's in there.
Guys,
Yeah,
I have.
it's just not fun to collect unopened stuff for me. I had a whole bunch. I used to do that. I'd get like a box and I'd keep a bunch of unopened packs, and I'm like, yeah, someday in the future, and I ended up opening them all up.
I hear you. I bought 6 packs of 90 or 6 boxes of 90 Peachy. I opened up every one of them.
It's way more satisfying.
But that was hockey, and that was a good rookie year, so I had to. I had no choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see who took it.
If
Who
I
took
had a
it for the team?
79 Peachy hockey, how could I not open that? I have to know if there's a Gretzky in there.
Like that big old whore that they got in Saskatchewan. Yeah.
Jerry Kuzman took it for the team. He's got the gum on the back. Now I've opened up some where the gum is leached through so many of these cards. It's been like 3 or 4 cards through where it's all just ruined with the gum.
Is that right? It affects that many?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like one of the last box of 86 that I bought, I pretty much just threw away $100 because they're like four cards out of each pack were at least trash because the gum would leach through and ruin them all. I don't know what the how it was stored, but man, it was just horrible.
Not very well.
You know how you can clean those? You can. There's 2 different ways. What I like to do is I like to take. You ever use a pressure washer?
Yeah, I gotta
put it on the sidewalk, and I
let it rip.
Put a rock on it. I pressure wash it, and then I put it in the washing machine, and then once you soak it in the washing machine, then you just throw it in the dryer or the microwave.
Oh, there you go. See, that's the way to do it.
I do that with my records, John.
And then put it in between 2 pieces of glass and just let it sit for a little bit.
Out in the sun, yeah.
Well, we got Jerry Kuzman in that one. We got Ramon Romero. These are great looking cards too. This box is one of the better 86 boxes I've found.
Actually, it has been pretty good too.
Hey, believe it or not, the 86 and 87 tops are among my favorite sets of all time. I don't care if they're worth nothing.
Oh, right. I just
love
love them. They're fantastic. Like what is it, the 85 in the Tops football? I think it was 85 in the Tops football. They had the black top on the two.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the
so.
sideways cards.
Yeah. And they had the black
Yeah, I have
border
that
on the
whole
side.
set.
Yeah, I love those ones. Those ones are great.
I have that
Tom,
set. I bought it from somebody, and he had like there's an unopened pack with it. There's and then and all the All-Star cards. I think that's the set I'm thinking of. He
Is
had
that
like
Tom?
everything. He was kind of a completist.
Was that a Tom Defiler?
they yes.
Tom
They left
Defiler.
they left out his middle name.
The great Defiler. Yes. D stands for David, you bunch of freakazoids. Oh gosh.
I don't
Oh, they
think
don't
I know
even put
any
it on the
player
back.
you showed yet.
No, that's
Good.
how we roll up in this.
You got Jim Slayton.
Oh, I know him.
Get to a save point. Save some of those for TTM, Tim, because like they look really good signed.
Got Cecil Cooper. Yeah, I got a ton of
Hey, Cecil
cards.
Cooper was a good player.
Yeah, he was. 100%. I agree. Absolutely. I got a bunch of
It was Cecil Cooper, wasn't it? Cecil?
Yeah.
Cecil.
I got a bunch of Milwaukee Brewers police sets with Cecil Cooper in it.
Oh, nice. I love those.
Cecil
police
Cooper
cards.
was a good player. I like to watch him play. You know, he was kind of like who was the other? There was another player that was similar to him.
Good night, DL.
Drawing a blank.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, see you, Princess. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by.
DL rules.
We got Mike Young for the Orioles. Now, the Orioles is the only team I've seen, not the only team, but when I went to the East Coast, I was able to see the Orioles play. So that was fun.
Where do you live?
I'm in Boise, Idaho.
You're up in like Idaho. I knew
Yeah,
Upper
so
West.
close. I'm a big Mariners fan. I used to live in Seattle area for when I was a little kid, so I was able to see. I went to the Kingdom a couple of times when I was a little kid.
Yeah, I lived in I took a second place, but in Baltimore for like a year and a half, and I used to go to some games. Fantastic stadium.
Oh,
Camden
nice.
Yards is a beautiful park, man.
You got Tom Tillman. Oh, there we go. Got some Dick Williams.
Yeah.
And we got, there we go. It's Dave Concepcion.
Big Red Machine.
Great shortstop.
Yeah, Big Red Machine.
I liked him. I got to watch him a lot because they were such a good team. They were on TV a lot because they didn't televise too many games back then.
That's one thing I miss now is televising of games.
Yeah.
Baseball games. Just to be able to try to watch a baseball game nowadays is ridiculous.
Yeah, Sean, we talked about that, Adam and I and Tim last Sunday about Adam's 86 Tops TTM set.
You have to get the MLB package, otherwise you don't get to see too many games. Now, that's what I always say about like the NBA is so popular in America and NHL is not. Because try to find a hockey game on these days. It's near impossible.
Right.
Like every once in a while, who is it? ABC that has like a Saturday game. But I mean, people have things going on a Saturday. So if you're home, it's nice. But you're like,
but that comes from the Canadian thing of Hockey Night in Canada. Hockey Night in Canada was coast to coast on Saturday nights, so that's where they're getting that from. That's always been a staple here in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they used to be on TV a lot more, but if you go on TNT, I mean, they have games on every night, NBA games. It's so easy to watch basketball, so easy.
Steve Garvey for the Hall of Fame, man.
There we go.
Steve Garvey for the Hall, and Dave Concepcion for the Hall. I agree, Tony. There's a lot of guys that should be in the Hall that aren't.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this.
Goddamn Pete Rose. Let's start by putting Pete Rose in the goddamn Hall of Fame. Really?
All right.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Maiden, I don't know if you remember this, but Steve Garvey, his first All-Star game, he was a write-in, and he had 1 million people write in his name.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't understand why the man didn't get. Yeah, like the hobby love that he deserves.
Yeah.
Or
no, for sure.
it's crazy.
You remember
There's
when
so
we were
many
young,
great-
his 71 rookie card? How that was like one of the biggest cards in the hobby.
that was the card.
Yeah, right.
Bigger than Nolan,
Yeah,
bigger than Nolan's rookie. Like it was
At
big.
that time, yeah, it was. At that time. And then, Nolan Ryan just caught fire when he started breaking, getting all the no-hitters and
Yeah.
racking up those strikeouts. And then all of a
Dude.
sudden, his rookie card.
Yeah. Now I think
Yep.
there's also like, Dale Murphy's one of my favorite players that I watched grow up. Dale Murphy should be in the Hall too. There's so many guys. But I always started it with those. I always said Fred McGriff should have been in, so they did write that wrong. So there is hope, guys. There's hope for guys like, Dale Murphy, do it for Dale.
Hall of Fame, when it comes to the ballot, if you don't go back to the Veterans Committee or whatever, it's just all about stats and longevity, really.
It is.
So if you had a good 7-year stretch or even a good 10-year stretch, but you don't have 3,000 hits, you don't have that many home runs, you're just not getting in. No matter what I call the visual test. So when we watch somebody play, you could, they're awesome. But then when you tally up their stats and they played 15, 16 years, their stats look, don't look too good.
No, right.
Compared to a guy that played 23 years.
Well, that's right. Unfortunately, Don Mattingly. Like, why the hell? That's why Don's not in the Hall of Fame. Because if you're looking at that factor,
All right, got one more quick pack of the 87 Donruss.
Always pulling out the pop-ups.
You got the 87 pop-ups.
I have them, man. I love those.
These things are fun.
I still have them from that
if
year.
I remember correctly, didn't you buy the Roberto Clemente puzzle put together or something? I can't remember. I think that was you. I'm not sure. Man,
no,
John?
I don't put puzzles together. They drive me insane. The puzzle from the Donruss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the puzzle. I bought that way. I don't know if somebody didn't it come in packs?
Yeah, I think it used to come in.
Yeah, it was.
I mean the card-sized one. The card-sized one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, the card-sized one used to come in the packs.
You know what you're thinking? I bought a Willie Stargell that was put together, glued together, and he signed it.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
That was from 90 Donruss. That was the 90 Donruss puzzle. It was Willie.
Yeah.
And
we got
what can you say about Pops, man? Like I told you before, he's one of my favorites too, man. Pops is awesome.
I got hitting lessons from him.
Oh,
really?
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Look
Steve Glass's baseball camp, and he taught us how to pick up pitches coming out of the pitcher's hand. It was awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool. We got Mr. Seinfeld, Keith Hernandez here in the pop-up.
Okay, so how many Gold Gloves did he win?
Ooh, I don't know. Not too
He
sure.
won more than any other first baseman in history. Do you know how many?
I think it's like 6 or 7. Check.
11.
Oh, wow.
Was it 11?
I don't think I would have ever guessed that.
And he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Mr. Seinfeld, not in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it should have been after that spit that went around.
Nobody cares about defense anymore. Who cares about defense anymore? Oh, Ozzie Smith wouldn't get in now.
That's true. But he did do the backflip, so that gets him in on the visual factor.
I mean, Tatis Jr., when he played short, he led the league in errors every single year. Not just his position, the entire league. And they're saying how he's the next. They already put him in the Hall. I'm like, does nobody care about defense anymore? So I kept saying they needed to change his position. Now, what happened when they finally changed his position? He won a Gold Glove in right field.
All right. Chili, don't call me Chili Davis.
They were all throwing errors. He just didn't. He couldn't throw to first base. That shortstop throw, that's a tough throw, man. Anybody that's played short, that's a tough throw to make consistently.
It is.
Oh, yeah, it's a long ways from third to first.
Eddie Murphy.
You have to be very accurate.
Yeah.
There's a Murph.
There we go. We got Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Shout out to Double D.
So is
There
he
you
the
go.
second best? Is he the second best switch hitting home run hitter of all time?
No, well, I don't know about that. I'd say Chipper Jones. Mickey Mantle, Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones was a better home run hitter than him.
Ooh, I don't know.
No, Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray had more home runs, I think. I can't remember. It's late, and I've been eating
I
edibles
mean,
all
obviously
day.
Mantle's number one.
Oh yeah.
That's
Let's
something
see.
that made Mantle very special. He hit as a switch hitter.
Oh, we've got the checklist. Nice. Well, wasted one now. There we go. Well, that's all on that one. Not too
Those
bad.
are great though. I just bought that Eddie Murray, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, nice. Well, I like these. I like these cards, these packs. These ones are fun.
I like the oversized. I think it's the 82, either the 82 or 83, the ones that are sideways. Man, I love
okay.
those. They're beautiful.
Those are gregreat.
Yeah,
They're beautiful.
They are kind of cool.
And put them in a binder
Total
and
retro.
still have them. I still have them from that year.
Let's see how quick he
When I
switches
was a
that
little
up.
kid.
It's almost like he's a pro at this. Man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to get
I wouldn't
running.
go that far.
Yeah, I got to get going. It's
Yeah, it's
midnight
getting
here.
late. Hey,
Up
thank
on
you
the
so
upper
much.
East Coast.
Thank you so much, MrJmangini, for stopping
Hey.
in.
Thanks for having me. I think this is the longest I ever went live before. How many?
Awesome.
How long have we been on here?
2 hours and
We're almost
26
pushing. We're
minutes.
pushing 2.5 hours right now.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, not too bad. I thought it was longer than that.
It felt like
All right,
forever.
guys. Hey, thanks for including me. This was fun.
Oh man, this is a blast. You're welcome anytime, man. You're welcome
Hey,
anytime.
yo, for real, John, thank you for being awesome. You're a legend.
Definitely.
Your shit's awesome. You're on point. I like your show.
Hey,
Thanks for hanging out with us. And it makes me feel special to be at that table with these people like yourself, Adam, and some of the other people that I respect in the hobby. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I do too, for real.
Okay, guys.
All right.
All right.
Everybody.
Thanks, John. Hey, see you guys. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, no Sunday show this because of the Super Bowl. Coming back on the 18th.
Sunday. See you on next Wednesday then.
Yeah, we do it all again.
All right. See you guys. Thank you.
Woo! Man, Jenny rules.
Bye.